Unfortunately, quite far off of our race lead. Probably going to slot into about 3rd place. There she is. We won't be seeing her again today. Now, at the top of the course, we have Laura Pellicer for Andorra. Just finding it a little bit sticky, Pellicer, in this top section. Losing almost 2 seconds. But, as we saw there, she took the spin option on gate 9, the slightly safer option, the slightly slower option, but that choice has paid off as she delivered, in my opinion, the fastest gate 9 to 10 we have seen today, and she stayed clean on it. Let's see if that reflects in the split time. Not quite. Still 2.18 seconds down, showing that Leia Sorribes' run was possibly deceptively quick on that top section, but remember, this is where Leia Sorribes came a little bit unstuck, touching gate 18, and she got stuck in gate 17, so we could see Laura Pellicer begin to take an advantage over her Spanish neighbor, Leia Sorribes. Unfortunately, not the intensity I think needed to make it into this kayak women's final today from Laura Pellicer. Just not quite pushing the boat in that bottom section, just looking a little bit sticky and paying for it in her time there. 3.73 seconds behind Leia Sorribes. I don't think we'll be seeing Laura Pellicer in today's final. And at the top of the course, we have our second athlete for the independent nations, Cassennia Kreova. Cassennia Kreova now struggling on the top section and now missing gate 9. Having to paddle back for it, but a mistake like that will almost certainly see Cassennia Kreova, competing for the independent nations, eliminated in today's semi-final. She's going to keep going now, keep pushing, see if she can take some of these bottom splits and deliver some fast bottom sections as she gains experience at her European Championships. But that's all she can take from this race now. As 16 seconds down, she won't be in today's final. And off screen right now we have Leia Gooni of Spain starting her push down the course. I just saw her leave the start blocks. Don't have any other sight on her, unfortunately, but I can read out that she is clean on the first 3 gates. As she comes under the bridge now and she approaches the first split, so the camera will change to her in just a moment. Picks up a touch on gate 6 though, unfortunately, for Leia Gooni, and she's 2.29 seconds down on the first split. So she's got some work to do heading into the crunch move 8, 9, 10. Looks like she's going for a bit of a rodeo there, but she's up and running, chasing down her compatriot Leia Sorribes. Good speed through 13 and 14. Leia Gooni really pushing the pace now. I think realizing that she has a 2-second time penalty and understanding what she has to do. And her boat looks like it is absolutely flying through this middle section as she goes super tight under gate 16. Good speed on 17. Stays clean on 18, unlike her teammate, Laia Sorribes. Get a little bit stuck into 19 now. She's going to have to turn that pace that she found in the middle section back onto this bottom section. Starting to lose some time here, 1.16 seconds down, and a 2-second time penalty, unfortunately, on gate 22 for Leia Gooni. And stuck on the way out of 22. That move at the bottom, this bottom third, as I mentioned, it's going to be changing a lot of time, and it has done for Leia Gooni here. And unfortunately, I don't think that's a time that will put the Spanish athlete in today's final. So Laia Sorribes holding strong at the top, including 4 seconds of time penalties. So that time of 99.04, maybe closer to the final than I originally thought. But we do have a high caliber of athletes now on their way. We're starting to get towards some pretty experienced paddlers here, including Ida Novak of Slovenia. No stranger to these competitions. Many years of experience on the senior Slovenian team. Now, Ida Novak going very direct there on gate 9 to 10, as we just saw. One of the fastest we've seen so far. That's the move that you will need to be putting together in order to make it into today's final. And Ida Novak looks to be putting that kind of run together here. She's still a second up on Laia Sorribes, who struggled in this bottom section. So, Ida Novak has to hold it together, has to continue the way she's been going in this bottom third now, and it looks like she's going to be comfortably up on Laia Sorribes in this next split. 2.77 seconds. This is a flyer of a run from Ida Novak as she looks to put her challenge in to enter into today's final. Little bit stuck on the exit at 22, but nothing to worry about here for Ida Novak. Just needs to stay clean in these last 3 gates. They're not the most difficult 3-gate ending to a course, and this is a mid-90s run. Like we thought would make it into the final. It's a 95.07. Almost 4 seconds in the lead now for Ida Novak. And I think she can be quietly confident about that run, giving her a place in today's 12-boat final. We'll see what's still to come. Many athletes, 21 athletes left. Only 12 places in this final, but Ida Novak now leading by almost 4 seconds. If I was an Ida Novak fan, I'd be quietly confident. Now we see Emily Apple at the top of the course. Emily's sister, Elena Lilik, picking up an Olympic silver medal here in the Paris 2024 course. I'm sure she will have been speaking to her sister before this race, maybe getting some tips on how to race on this former Olympic course. And it looks like she's using some of that advice excellently here as she absolutely flies through the first 7 gates, and she's up on the first split. Remember, Ida Novak's time was an absolute flyer, so that's impressive there. Takes a very tight line under gate 9. We'll see what the judges say about a possible half head on gate 9, but at the moment it's showing up clean as she slotted through gate 9 and 10 expertly. Now, the German athlete on her debut on the senior team, absolutely flying here, 2.71 seconds up. Ida Novak gained a lot of time in this bottom section, especially between 16, 17, 18 and 19. So Emily Apple has some work to do now. That's a slow approach on gate 17. We will have liked to see her on the sweep there. But this is certainly not over for the German athlete. She had such an advantage at the top, and it looks like she's carrying that advantage over Ida Novak here. Incredible, 1.3 seconds still up. Now, has to stay very solid, has to stay very clean as she sweeps up through gate 21. That's going to give her some speed on the exit, but she loses it a little on the stopper. She's going to have to stay composed, stay focused here. Very well done through there. And we could have our second potential finalist here in Emily Apple as she looks to go ahead of Ida Novak's time. Wow, 0.45 ahead of Ida Novak. I'm not sure if Emily Apple knows how much further Ida Novak is ahead of the next competitor. There is a 4-second gap between Ida Novak, Emily Apple, and the rest of the field. as we potentially see our first two finalists coming down the course there, but we can't speak too soon, as I thought Ida Novak would stay at the top of the leaderboard for a long time, but Emily Apple has blown that out of the water. Let's see if Elena Marx from Switzerland can carry on some of the excitement that we're having early on here in Vaires-sur-Marne. Not quite as slick as Emily Apple on that first stop across here, but still a solid top section, something she can put in the bank as she looks to pick up the speed now, coming into the crunch move, gate 9 to 10. Unfortunately there, you're seeing how fast Emily Apple was on that top section. 4.36 seconds down. Elena Marx with some work to do here. And she certainly looks to be putting in that work as she reduces that deficit by over a second. But they're getting very stuck in gate 16. She needs almost a perfect run, I'd say, to leapfrog ahead of Ida Novak and Emily Apple at the top of the leaderboard. She is slowly reducing this deficit though, slowly but surely delivering more solid sections. And Elena Marx's deficit to the top is just slowly dropping. But not dropping enough as she looks to slot into third position here, I believe. Yeah, 2.66 seconds behind the time of Emily Apple, so a 97.28. Unfortunately, I'm predicting that might just be on the wrong side of the bubble for Elena Marx, but fingers crossed for the Swiss athlete. We never know what's still to come. But as I mentioned, I think the cutoff could be in the mid-90s. Like that time of Ida Novak, like that time of Emily Apple, as Victoria Oesch now looks to challenge the Germans' lead. Victoria Oesch. Strong first three gates, not bad. Remember, the German Emily Apple was excellent at the top section, so we'd be surprised to see Victoria Oesch go faster. And yeah, 4 seconds down. It just shows how rapid the German was delivering that top section. Clearly the advice from her sister Helena Lillich paying off there, showing her exactly how to deliver a top run here in Vaires-sur-Marne. Unfortunately, unlike Elena Marx, Victoria Oesch's time is not dropping. Her deficit is extending, and it's looking harder and harder now for the Ukrainian to pick up her place in today's final, but there's no doubt she's going to give it her all in this bottom section. See how much of that deficit she can close up by hopefully delivering a rapid last few gates here. Just not the approach you will have wanted in gate 21 and 22, maybe cutting the line a little bit there. She loses her height in 22, has to pick herself back up the eddy. As it's a solid run from Victoria Oesch, but just maybe not on the pace that she will have imagined when she was looking at this course and thinking about it. The Ukrainian paddler looking a little bit disappointed there, but philosophical about a clean run, a solid run. As now we have Ava Alina Hva of Slovenia at the top of the course. Not a bad start at all here from the Slovenians, staying very tight around the poles on gate 1 and 3. That'll be something to look out for. How tight to the inside poles of those upstreams are these women's kayak paddlers, because that is what you're going to need to compete with this top split of Emily Apple, because Ava Alina Hva delivered a really good first two upstream gates and is still 1.83 seconds down on the Germans' time. Ava Alina Hva just losing some of that precious time now. Losing almost 3 seconds between split 1 and split 2. She's going to have to turn up the time, but we can see the Slovenians running down the bank alongside her, just running past our commentary tent. She's got a big contingent following her down, and I'm sure that's going to give her the little kick on she needs in this bottom section, as it looks like that deficit dropping a little bit now. Hocheva making some time on the German Emily Apple, but not the nicest line into gate 22. As Ava Alina Hva now approaches the finish line, giving it her absolute all here. But unfortunately, a time of 98.48. As we mentioned with Elena Marx on a time of 97, a time of 97, 98, those high 90s, I think, going to be just too slow for the final here today. As we see already 4 athletes at the top, putting down a clean run, putting down solid runs. I think there will be more of that to come. So it's going to need a really top performance to get into our 12-boat final, as we see our first French athlete, Ava Pier, flying into gate 1, but flying in far too tight. She half heads it on entry, has to go back and get it again. And she can't do that if she wants to compete with our German leader here, Emily Apple. Ava Pier now trying to make up for that time deficit at the top. She had to paddle back for a gate, and she's only 10 seconds behind our leader now. So the rest of the run looking pretty on pace here from the young French athlete, who I believe is reigning under-23 European champion. Just falling a little bit low into gate 19 now. So this time just seeps away and away from her. And Emily Apple, I think, can sit comfortably, as Ava Pier will not challenge her lead. And Ava Pier crosses the line, 9 seconds behind, drops into 8th place. And unfortunately, I think that is the last of the French athlete that we will be seeing here in this competition, as she looks very disappointed at the finish line there. But at the top, our first athlete from Great Britain, Nikita Setul, as our British contingent sitting opposite the commentary tent, starts to get hyped up now, starts to encourage their athlete on. And Nikita Setul approaching this first big move. Not staying the tightest to the gates on gate 3 there, like we saw from our German athlete. So she's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit here in order to be in touch with the first split. And she struggles with gate 7, and unfortunately for our British athlete, Nikita Setul, having to go back now for gate 7 and picking up a 2-second time penalty. So not the start Nikita Setul was looking for, the 2018 Junior European champion. And now, I hate to say it, but unfortunately Nikita Setul is going to struggle to stay in touch with the Germans' time. She gives it her all, gives it absolute beans down this bottom section, but 9 seconds behind now. Again, I think Emily Apple can watch another athlete possibly slot in behind her. Nikita staying solid here at the bottom, keeping it all together after that early mistake. She's closing the deficit now by about 0.2, 0.3. That is excellent on gate 22 from Nikita Setul, though. That move is what I expect us to be seeing as more of these top athletes come down. Nikita producing an excellent top section there. That 8-second deficit now somewhere around 6 seconds. You see, she made 2 seconds on Emily Apple in that bottom section just by being pretty tight and pretty smooth in gate 22. That's something that I think we could be seeing as we get towards our top athletes. And speaking of some of those top athletes now, we have Milin Shuro of Spain. Incredible, incredible athlete. Been around for many years. Shows no signs of stopping as she won last year's World Cup final in Liceo de Urgel. In the new Vaida boat. Vaida, the boat manufacturer, is making a new boat called the Boost. Milin Shuro was one of the first athletes in it. She won that World Cup final in this new boat. I think showing the rest of the field how to paddle this new design from Vaida. Gate 9 and 10 there, excellently delivered as she approaches this middle section. We're going to get a good idea on where she is on our current race leader, Emily Apple. Just a little bit behind, 1.67. And remember, Nikita Setul took 2 seconds out of Emily Apple between the third split and the finish line, meaning there is time to be had for Milin Shuro. Now, Milin Shuro. We're going to get an idea on this third split. Looks like she's very in touch with our German leader. 0.43 behind. Now Milin, how close and tight can she stay on gate 22? Fairly tight. This could challenge for our race lead time here. Emily Apple's bottom section just staying away, and we have a change at the top of the leaderboard, which I'll tell you about, and another change at the top of the leaderboard as Milin Shuro puts in a time of 94. Dead. Very fast, very competitive time. But as you may have seen there, as she was approaching the finish line, there was a different name as our race leader. That is because, unfortunately, Emily Apple has been given a 50-second time penalty upon video review. So the German team cannot protest that. It cannot be undone. It cannot be changed as it's been put on by the video judges. So unfortunately, Emily Apple, with an incredible run, one that would have almost certainly take her into the final, is given a 50-second penalty on gate 16. Late change here in Vaires-sur-Marne. But that does mean that now Milin Shuro leads Ida Novak by 1.07 seconds with a time of 94 clean. That is the time that Kiara Sabatini of Italy is chasing. Looking like a solid run so far from Sabatini of Italy here. Not doing much wrong. Unfortunately, just not quite in touch with that rapid pace of Milin Shuro. Now remember, Milin's middle and bottom section are very hard to compete with. We expect, unless we see an excellent bottom section here from Sabatini, the time could open up. The deficit could widen. But a very tight exit for Sabatini there, going into gate 23. She'll be happy with that finish as she fights towards Milin Shuro's time. She's not going to compete with that, but can she slot in ahead of Elena Marx in third position? And she can, just ahead of Elena Marx by 0.04 seconds, less than a blink of an eye. And still, Milin Shuro at the top, followed closely by Ida Novak, 1.07 seconds behind, and then 3.24 seconds behind the lead is Kiara Sabatini in third. At the top of the course, Gabriella Sakova, C1 woman Olympian here at the Paris 2024 Games. She's spent loads of time in this course, mostly in a C1, but those skills will all be transferable to the kayak as we see her put down her challenge today. So solid start from a Czech paddler, but just losing precious time. It's hard to see where the time changes hands there at the top, but Milin Shuro just staying close on the inside poles of the downs of the upstream gates, taking shorter lines than Gabriella Sakova, and that's really reflecting in the time now. But Sakova looking to mop up some of that margin. It was 3.7 at the first split. It's now 2.37 at the second one, so she is now eating into that lead of Milin Shuro. As Gabriella Sakova flies into gate 19, holds the inside pole very well, takes the tight line, and let's see how she's doing with that deficit. 2.19 seconds now, so almost 0.2 less of a deficit between splits 2 and splits 3. Punts off the wall there, the Czech paddler. She approaches this bottom section now. She'll be closer to Milin Shuro's time than we would have thought after seeing that first split. Can she slot into third position? Unfortunately not, just ends up on the wrong side of that bubble in the 97s. 3 athletes now with a time of 97. And Gabriella Sakova, unfortunately, is the third of those 3 athletes, meaning she's in 5th position. I think a little bit too much to be in today's final. Now at the top of the course, our second athlete from France. The home crowd here getting hyped up. It's early in the morning. Not many of them here yet, but I'm sure they will be for the finals, as Emma Vuitton makes her challenge. I think you can hear the supporter crowd chanting Emma's name. She's only 1.76 behind that split of Milin Shuro, which is extremely fast. Remember, our last few athletes have been quite a long way down on Milin Shuro, then have eaten into her lead as they approach the bottom sections of this course. And it looks like Emma might be following their lead, as that 1.76 second deficit is now just 0.45 seconds. Taken over a second out of Milin in that crunch move 9-10 and that sprint section through the back straight. Now, she goes from the back straight to the home straight into gate 20. And we'll get our next split, our next indication of where the French athlete is at. And she is up on Milin Shuro. Tries to stay tight around gate 22. Just trying to place her strokes correctly there, and she does so. I think this could challenge for our race lead time of 94 seconds. Emma Vuitton versus Milin Shuro, 94 seconds to beat. I think she's going to do it comfortably. We're going to see, I think, a French finalist here, 93.19 seconds, and confirmed our first finalist is Emma Vuitton of France. An excellent run, a clean run from Emma. She looks happy at the bottom as she goes to speak to her coach. And the home crowd here also extremely happy. And closely followed by her compatriot, the French fans are getting a treat here as their Olympic boat, Cammy Pjon, starts her charge. Cammy staying very tight to the poles there on that top section. And absolutely destroying the top split, Cammy Pjon. But as she does that, she goes through gate 9-10, falls off the wave on her approach into gate 10. That's big drama here, as the French Olympian now has some serious time to make up. She's fighting hard. She's right in front of the French crowd now. And it looks like she's not that far off the split of Emma Vuitton with that massive mistake between gates 9 and 10. So this is an absolute flyer of a run from Cammy Pjon. The deficit to get into the final. It's between Cammy Pjon and Milin Shuro, 0.81 seconds behind Emma Vuitton. That's what you need to do to get into today's final. But Cammy Pjon, picking up a 2-second time penalty on gate 18, not what she would have planned. She needs to make up time, and she's slowly losing it, and 4.11 seconds behind now would put her provisionally into 6th position. Not enough for the final, so Cammy Pjon really needs to get her finger out on this bottom section. And she does so, staying really close to those inside poles. This is going to be tight. for a place in the final, and she goes into 4th place, so 2 spots away from the final. But we have our second confirmed finalist. It is Milin Shuro, the experienced paddler from Spain, the highly decorated kayak woman. We will be seeing her in our European Championships final today, as we have our first athlete from Great Britain, my sister, Lois Lever. Some biased commentary may be on the way. As Lois Lever begins her charge. Rapid around gate 1. And from gate 2 to 3. Let's see if she holds the inside pole on gate 3. She does. And I'm not trying to be biased, but that is an excellent start from the British athlete, Lois Lever. And she holds that inside pole from gate 6 to 7. And that is perhaps the best move we have seen on that all day. And it reflects in the split as she's really close to Emma Vuitton. Maybe the second best move we've seen all day on it. But unfortunately, Lois picking up a 2-second time penalty there on gate 9. Not what she will have intended now, and it's going to be extremely hard to make it into this final with a 2-second time penalty, but the deficit to make it into the finals, 1.88 seconds behind Emma Vuitton. Lois Lever now really needs to pick up the time on this back straight as she comes just in front of our commentary box, 2.99 seconds down now. That touch really not helping her. She has to stay tight to these poles. She needs to kick the bow up on gate 17. All on the right blade, but she should have went to the sweep stroke because the shaft of her paddle hits into the pole of gate 17, the upstream gate, and she's losing too much precious time now. I think this is going to be too much of a deficit to overcome for the British athlete. She's 6.62 seconds behind now. Way too far behind for the final. Provisionally, this may put her around 10th with these 2 penalties. After an excellent top section from the British athlete, just pushing the lines too tight, trying to take too much time out the French athlete at the top, and she slots into 10th place, and we will not be seeing Lois Lever in our final today. The under-23 world champion is eliminated as we look to the top of the course and see Stephanie Horn of Italy. But in that drama of the British athlete being eliminated, Iva Novak claims her place in the final, as next, waiting in the wings, is Cammy Pjon, 2.63 seconds behind her compatriot Emma Vuitton. Stephanie Horn here quietly delivering an excellent top section, 0.65 seconds faster than that of Emma Vuitton, and she goes extremely direct from gate 9 to 10 on a fast line. This split will be a good indication for us. See how close she is to Emma Vuitton. Looks like she's staying in touch there with her original split, only losing 0.4 on Emma Vuitton, who was rapid in this middle section. The judges signal clear on gate 16. Our video judges will have a look as Stephanie Horn threw her head back at gate 16, big time there. And it looks like touching the inside pole of gate 19. So the 2.63 second deficit between Cammy Pjon and the lead is the buffer to get into the final. And Stephanie Horn's going to have to fight hard to stay within that buffer now. She now approaches the finish line, a time of 95.82 in order to get into the final. And she matches the time. Stephanie Horn and Cammy Pjon are tied, and meaning they both now are in the final. So we have 5 finalists currently, with 8 athletes to go. So if Stephanie Horn and Cammy Pjon stay as our last 2 qualified boats, we will have a 13-boat final, which is pretty rare to see. But I'm sure other people might well go ahead, or behind, sorry, those times of Cammy Pjon and Stephanie Horn. And one of those athletes looking to get into the final is Antony Galuskova of Czechia. I'd also like to make you aware that Stephanie Horn does have an asterisk next to her name, meaning the video judges are looking at that gate 16 that I mentioned. So Italian Stephanie Horn fans will have to wait a little bit to see if their athlete is confirmed into the final, as the video judges do their job on gate 16. Now, Anthony Galaskova delivering a nice top section there, only 0.41 behind, but touch on gate 13. She's got a 4.05 second gap to make it into today's final. A slightly wider gap than I would have imagined seeing here. But Anthony Galaskova now with 2 touches is going to have to be absolutely on point with Emma Vuitton's raw time in order to get into today's final. There we go, 5.89 seconds down, provisionally slotting into 11th place if this carries on. She needs to be within 4.05 seconds of Emma Vuitton's time of 93.19. It doesn't look like she'll be within that today. And unfortunately, this is the last of Anthony Galaskova that we're going to see here in Vaires-sur-Marne. Not the run that the Czech athlete would have been looking for today. Now, top of the course, Sonia Stonka of Slovakia. I can now confirm that the video judges have finished looking at Stephanie Horn's gate 16 and they've given it clean, meaning she maintains her spot tied 4th on the leaderboard with Cammy Pjon, and the gap to get into the final is still held by Kiara Sabatini, 4.05 seconds behind that of Emma Vuitton, and 97.24 is what Sonia Stonka is looking to jump ahead of. But she's making it hard for herself as she touches one of those fairly easy downstream gates in the middle. Losing a little bit of focus there. Now, Sonia Stonka with some pretty strong work to do at the bottom section now. But her boat flies between gate 18 and 19. Stays on top of the water. She's not going to be too far off our race leader, Emma Vuitton now. Only 3.23 seconds, which isn't nothing to get into the final. Let's see now. Getting a fairly clean exit out of 22. Delivering this last stagger. 24-25. I think it could be enough for a place in the final, you know. And it is 2.86 seconds behind. She goes into 6th position, and Chiara Sabatini, the Italian, is still waiting for her place in today's final with that time of 97.24. And we're starting to see now that that bubble isn't in the mid-90s, it's mid to high 90s, with a 97 being what it takes to make it into that final. Chiara Sabatini next waiting, closely followed by Elena Marx in the leaderboard. But now we look to the top of the course and see Kimberly Woods, the Olympic bronze medalist, fighting for her place in today's final. A time of 97.24 to beat. She's going to have to really go now as she picks up a 2-second time penalty on the first gate. And that will probably reflect in her first split. It does, 1.35 behind, but it does mean that on raw time, Kimberly Woods is faster than our race leader, Emma Vuitton. She's still got 3 seconds to play with between now and the end of the course in order to qualify for today's final. Just cutting the line a little bit there into gate 12, losing the edge, but she gets it back online excellently. You could barely notice the mistake there from Kimberly Woods. She gets back towards gate 16 and trying to get really high, get on the sweep into 17. Very nicely done. Holds herself up into 18, just making sure she's in the right place to deliver that curl move, and that's exactly what she does. Delivers it excellently. You saw the speed there into and away of gate 19. And 1.11 seconds behind the lead of Emma Vuitton. She is faster on raw time. That touch just holding her back from potentially taking the race lead, but 4.05 seconds is what it takes to get into the final. It looks like she's going to be within that. She might even take the race lead with a touch now. This is one of the fastest times we're going to see today. And she just goes behind Emma Vuitton by 0.02 seconds. And we will see Kimberly Woods again on this Olympic course in Vaires-sur-Marne, looking to compete for another medal here. And now, Zusanna Pankova, the Slovakian Olympian in the C1 category, competing now in Vaires-sur-Marne in the kayak. A junior world champion, I believe, in 2022. No, that was Lucia Pastoni in 2022. She was C1 woman world champion in 2022, excuse me. But Zusanna Pankova, there's no doubting her ability at this top senior level. Showing there, only 1.2 seconds behind our race leader, Emma Vuitton. That's a comfortable time to make it into the final, which, remember, is 4.05 seconds behind our leader, a time of 97.24, currently held by Kiara Sabatini of Italy. Now, she still has just over a second deficit to Emma Vuitton, but that is no worries whatsoever for our Slovakian paddler, as she has around 3 seconds to play with between now and the end of the course in order to make it into today's final. And that deficit staying fairly consistent, still in the 1 second region. Closer to 2 now, though. But as long as she stays clean in this bottom part, I'm sure we'll be seeing the young Zusanna Pankova, 2004 born, in today's final. And it looks like that will be the case as she slots into 8th position, just ahead of Kiara Sabatini, 2.87 seconds off the lead. We will see you, Zusanna Pankova, in today's final. And just now, on our scoreboard, I've just seen Cammy Pjon has been given an asterisk, which means the video judges are looking at something in her run. They've been alerted of something that's going on, and they need to have a second look. They've had a second look, and they've given another touch to Cammy Pjon of France. A big upset there. She's now 4.63 seconds off the lead and not in today's final as it stands. Kiara Sabatini, though, has now qualified due to that late touch being added on. But let's not get distracted here, because the multiple Olympic medalist, the former world champion and greatly experienced athlete here, Ricardo Funk, Bib 1, highest ranked athlete heading into this race. Truly one of the favorites here. So maybe even win the final later on this morning. So we'd certainly expect to see her qualify through this semi-final, as it looks very solid so far for Ricardo Funk. Someone with her speed, someone with her ability, doesn't need to put down an absolute flyer to make it in. She just needs to stay clean, stay solid, go at about 80% effort, and she'll be in today's final, as she delivers one of the cleanest curl moves we've seen all day between gates 21 and 22. The boat just staying extremely flat. Ricardo Funk, so good at using the boat like that. And she approaches the finish line, not going to challenge our race lead time, but going to put herself into the final comfortably, 5th place. We'll see Ricardo Funk in today's final. Now we have Monica Doria of Andorra making her charge to get into the final. It's Monica Doria versus Elena Marx of Switzerland. A 97.28. That's the time she has to beat to make it into the final. Monica Doria picking up a touch there on gate 9, as we saw. 4.47 seconds behind now. Provisionally, that's outside of the final, so Monica Doria is going to have to really turn it up here in this bottom section in order to hope to have a place, and she's just been given a 50-second penalty on gate 16. She did go very tight there. That judge has been given a few benefit of the doubt, been given a few clear judgments, but it's not gone that way for Monica Doria, who's been given a 50-second time penalty there by the judge at gate 16. Now, Claudia Zerolinska, the reigning European champion. She won last year in Tatsin. Would certainly be expecting to see her fight to defend her title in today's final. But coming a little bit unstuck here in this top section, touching gate 1 and then falling off the wave from 2 to 3. Not the start we expected to see from Claudia Zerolinska. But she's certainly one of the athletes on the circuit that can absorb that kind of time error at the top. 3.54 seconds down. Now, remember, Monica Doria picked up a 50 in the run we just saw, which means Elena Marx is now in the final with that time of 97.28. So, Gabriella Sakova versus Claudia Zerolinska for a place in the final. Claudia Zerolinska has another touch given to her on gate 8 and a touch on gate 1, and she had that time error. But the rest of the run has been absolutely flying, and she's still only 4.3 seconds behind our race leader, Emma Vuitton. That is provisionally enough to make it into today's final. Gabriella Sakova versus Claudia Zerolinska for a place in the final. Looking very composed there, Claudia Zerolinska, as she approaches this last move. That time deficit now just widening it out a little bit. She's going to have to turn it up here in order to beat Gabriella Sakova to the final. She stays very tight. Remember, it's a time of 97.71 to make it into the final, and it's a 97.73. Oh, that was tight. That is extremely unfortunate from the reigning European champion, Claudia Zerolinska, who goes 0.02 seconds outside of today's final with only one athlete to go. That one athlete was the winner of our heats run yesterday. She is the under-23 European champion from 2023 in Bratislava. It is Lucia Neznalova. Lucia Neznalova needs to beat a 97.73, which we just saw from Claudia Zerolinska. And she's way inside that time with this top section now. But she struggles a little bit there on gate 9. Has to throw her head back big time, and the judge has given a 50-second time penalty there for Lucia Neznalova for going too tight into gate 9, not getting her whole head inside the gate. And there's some late drama as Claudia Zerolinska, it looks like, provisionally now is in the final. She was very disappointed at the bottom of the run, but it looks as if she's going to get a little bit lucky today, and we're going to see her in today's final later on. But it should be said that the rest of this run from Lucia Neznalova is on point. Only 0.98 seconds behind our race leader, and now 1.32 seconds behind our race leader, just barring that 50-second time penalty that we saw given to her on gate 9. Approaching the bottom section, Lucia Neznalova stayed super composed after that tight section at the top. It's really unfortunate because she'd be comfortably inside that final, only 1.49 seconds down, which would have put her into 4th position leading into today's final later on. And the under-23 European champion from 2023 looks extremely disappointed at the bottom of the course. as she realizes that that 50-second time penalty eliminates her in this semi-final stage. After a great run. But Claudia Zerolinska, our reigning European champion, is the beneficiary of that 50-second penalty, qualifying in last place into today's final. And now it should be said that there is a theme that goes on at canoe slalom races, that the medalists, they tend to hide at the start of the finals. The people that go off first, there is a great trend, I don't know the statistics, but there is a great trend between those who go off first and those who medal. And bear in mind that Claudia Zerolinska, our reigning European champion, is going off first. But I'm going to have to take back what I said, because Lucia Neznalova has had her 50-second time penalty removed. We saw it on gate 9, it was tight. The judge immediately gave a 50, but it looks like upon video review, she's had the 50 taken off. There is still, however, an asterisk next to her name, which means they could be looking at something else in her run. It's hard for us to say. And we're hearing just now that that asterisk that is still on Lucia Neznalova has nothing to do with gate 9 anymore. It's now all about gate 16. That's what the video judges are looking at. It's gate 16 for Lucia Neznalova. It's between Lucy and Claudia Zerolinska for a place in today's final. Remember, if Lucia Neznalova stays without a 50, she'll be in the final. But she doesn't. She's given the 50-second time penalty now on gate 16. So more drama here in Vaires-sur-Marne as Claudia Zerolinska regains her place in today's final. So we can go back to what I was saying in my original statement. The medalists hide at the start of finals, and our European champion, Claudia Zerolinska of last year, is at the start of today's final. But going off last, we'll see the French competitor Emma Vouton going just after our Olympic bronze medalist Kimberly Woods, looking to make a lightning return at Vaires-sur-Marne. And then our Olympic silver medalist, our reigning European champion Claudia Zerolinska, going off first, putting the benchmark down for everyone in today's final. Unfortunately, there you see our athletes eliminated from today's race. There, that late 50-second time penalty for Emily Apple and Lucia Neznalova, costing them their places in the final. Tight margins for those. intermediate times. There we go. There's the stadium sign. We're back. We've got the atmosphere from Vaires-sur-Marne, and we can start to get excited about this kayak men's semi-final. Isak looking to be putting down a strong run here, but as I say that, he falls off gate 18 to 19 off the back of the wave. That'll cost him a precious second or two compared to our fastest boats, as he looks very composed going into gate 21 to 22. That crucial last move, that upstream move. Our best athletes, such as Yuri Priskovic, I think will be extremely tight around that section, using the punt on the wall, and they will gain time on Isak Åström there as he goes in and puts in a time of 88.42. Not bad. Remember, Kimberly Woods with a time of 91 plus 2 was the fastest raw time we saw in the women's category. So 88.42 could be somewhere close to the final. We'll see. It'll start to take shape. Will it be a fast semi-final? Will it be a slow semi-final? Will it be competitive? Will it be open? All things that we're waiting to find out here in Vaires-sur-Marne as Stefan Hankst of Germany, our first German athlete, lines up ready to go. Stefan competed in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games in kayak cross for Germany. He was their kayak cross specialist, kayak cross only boat. Putting in his bid in slalom here, a finalist at World Cup 3 in Krakow last year. No stranger to senior finals, he knows how to make it through. And look at that gate 9 to 10, extremely direct, absolutely flies up into gate 10. That's a lovely move from the German there. I think he might be up on Isak Åström at this next split, but let's see. Approaching now, gate 14. Yeah, he looks comfortably up, 2.64 seconds. Oh, just absolutely launches his head at gate 15. That was unnecessary. Let's see what the judges say and the video judges. But that was certainly tight on gate 15, unnecessarily in my opinion. And there you go, the video judges now starting their review as he leaves gate 19. Looks to put in his second intermediary time, and it is 2.4 seconds up still on Isak Åström. Remember, but Isak Åström, though, did fall off that way from 18 to 19, as did Stefan Hankst a little. So there's some time to be found in that second to third split. As now Stefan Hankst looks to take the race lead time. 88.42 is demolished into an 85.18. So I was very wrong about Isak Åström being close to the final, as we could be looking at a mid-80 for the final. It's so hard to say, it's so hard to predict with just two athletes down the course. But remember, the women's cutoff was 97.73, which was a little bit higher than we expected. But an 85.18, I'd say, barring a late penalty being added on the video review, he has a solid chance of making it into the final. But now, Martan Dug of Switzerland, ranked number 7 going into this race, 4th place at the Olympic Games here in Vaires-sur-Marne. He'll be looking to write that bittersweet ending to that Olympic Games in Paris. Obviously just 1 place away from a medal, as he's flying through gate 6s and 7, but takes it too tight, touches gate 6 with his head. He's not been given it yet, but I'm sure on video review that will be added, as it looked pretty obvious to me here in commentary. 1.2 seconds up, though, on Stefan Hankst. But remember, Stefan Hankst was flying through gate 9 and 10. So they may be fairly equal going into this next split. And they are. 0.02 seconds. Could barely be any more equal. Martan Dug taking a nicer line than Stefan Hankst did through gates 15 and 16. Less risk. And now, remember, there's time to be made between gates 18 and 19. Martan Dug not quite finding all of that time, but I think finding some of it. And it's showing in this second intermediary as he's up by 1.73 seconds on an amazing stop across from 21 to 22. I didn't expect the stopper to hold him as much as he did, but Martan isn't a heavy paddler. This feature held him. He knew that the feature would work like that, and wow, this is an excellent time. Martan Dug, 83.45. He looks confused, but I'd be surprised if a time of 14 seconds faster than the last qualifying woman didn't make it into our men's final. He looks really frustrated. He's really pissed off, but I find it hard to believe that that time's going to be toppled for a while. I really do. Let's see what the video judges give on gate 6 though, because remember, I thought I saw an obvious touch. And he's still getting investigated for it. Investigated, but the video judges are still doing their review. As Frederico Alvarenga of Portugal puts down his challenge for this final today. Solid start from the Portuguese paddler here. I don't think we've yet seen him in a senior final at any level. Any international level, I should say. And he's 4.76 seconds down on the first splitting, including a 2-second time penalty. So not the fastest top section here. He's going to have to pick up the pace as the time goes on. And it should be said that Martan Dug and Stefan Hankst, our top two, both still have asterisks next to their name. Meaning the video judges just having a little look, having a little double check, seeing if the judges on the bank made the right decision. And Alvarenga now, unfortunately, that deficit just opening up more and more. It's looking like too much to make the final for our Portuguese paddler here. He's put down a performance to be proud of, though. A lot of good stuff in that run, a lot of positives to take forward into his next race, which I believe will be in Liceo de Urgel World Cup 1 in early June. He looks disappointed, but I'm sure upon review he'll see the positives in that run. Now, Johnny Dixon of Great Britain, silver medalist at the World Cup final here in Vaires-sur-Marne in 2023. A disappointing year last year in 2024, but 2025 is a fresh start for him. He'll be looking to get things back on track here in Vaires-sur-Marne as he sets off on his challenge. Great first gate there from Johnny Dixon, flies into gate 3, and this is an almost perfect start for the British athlete. Flies through gate 5, 6, 7, getting a little bit sticky there between 6 and 7, but no worries, he gets it straight back online, and he's up on the first split, fighting to get back on that wave into gate 10, getting a little bit caught on the way in, losing time there on our race leader, Martan Dug. And it should be said that Stefan Hankst now has been given a 50-second time penalty, which means it's Johnny Dixon fighting against Martan Dug for the race lead. And he's in touch, only 0.31 seconds behind. And Martan Dug's time was excellent, meaning Johnny Dixon could be fighting for his first senior final of the season here and his first race. This is looking very solid, very composed from Johnny Dixon now. Just looking like he's floating down the course. 66.4 on the second split, 1.35 seconds down. This next move is going to be crucial as he looks to get high into gate 22. He does a decent job of it, a little bit caught on the exit now, just losing a little bit of precious time on Martan Dug on this bottom section. And he looks like he's going to go into a time of around 85 or 86 seconds, around what Stefan Hankst did. And I think Johnny Dixon's going to have to wait intensely for this final. Remember, Martan Dug could be given a touch here. And he is, right as I say it, Martan Dug is given a 2-second time penalty, drops down into a time of 84.45. Johnny Dixon 1.31 seconds behind that in a time of 86.76. I think Johnny lost a lot of time there in that bottom section, just coming a little bit sticky after he left gate 19. And he still has an asterisk on his name, which means the video judges are just having a closer look on some of the gates there, as we see now at the top of the course, Marello Bada of Italy. Marcello is an athlete who has medal experience. He medaled at the 2021 Senior World Championships. Bada now, looking like he's cruising down the course. I think he might be up here on Martan Dug's first split time, and he is by 1.7 seconds. He's putting down a very solid challenge for the final now. Is Marello Bada looking to beat that time of 85.45 from Martan Dug. In second place, close behind Martan Dug is Johnny Dixon in 86.76, but Marello Bada looks to be comfortably ahead of the pair of them right now as he flies into gate 22, very nice and tight. Not much stands in the way of Marello Bada and a European Championships final here in Vaires-sur-Marne. In my opinion, this could be an incredible run. 83.62 takes the lead by 1.83 seconds. He is extremely happy with that. I have a strong feeling that we will be seeing Marello Bada in the final later on this morning, but there's still so many top athletes to go. It's really hard to say what the cutoff is going to be. But that mid-80s, that 85.45 time of Martan Dug could make it into the final. And unfortunately there, the video judges have picked up a 2-second time penalty for Johnny Dixon on gate 12, meaning he drops now down into 4th position, 5.14 seconds off the lead. And that looks too much for Johnny Dixon to make it into today's final. And at the top of the course now, we have Galindo Chiello of Switzerland. He was a bronze medalist at last year's European Championships, having his most successful senior race there. Looking to replicate that European success. He likes the European Championships. And you can see that now in his attacking style on this course in Vaires-sur-Marne, flying through gate 9 and 10, pushing into this middle section. And let's see where he is on Marello Bada's split, which was 1.3 seconds faster than Martan Dug's in second place. 1.27 seconds behind now. Not a bad start from Galindo Chiello, but he does need to pick up the pace if he wants to challenge this race lead time of Marello Bada, provisionally slotting into second place if Galindo carries on like this. That time slipping out of the fingers of Galindo Chiello now. Just struggling in this bottom section. We might see last year's medalist eliminated, but he's made up some good time. Puts in a time of 86.55. Goes into third place, 2.93 seconds off the lead. It's going to be tricky to make the final with that time, I would say. Going to be tricky. He might just be on the bubble. The Swiss fans at home, keep your fingers crossed for Galindo Chiello. It's going to be tight for him. And now, at the top of the course, we have our second British athlete, Ben Halett, making his senior team debut in canoe slalom this year. Looking to set his challenge in his first championship event to make his first final. He does have a very good history of finals at the under-23 events, as gate 1 is swinging quite a lot there, but I saw the judge on the bank signal clear, so the video judges will certainly have a look, but for now, Ben Halett is clean on this top section. Flying under gate 5, pushing through gate 6 and gate 7. It's a solid start for Ben Halett. He's a little bit behind Marello Bada, but not much. As one of our heavy paddlers goes through gate 9 and 10. And he deals with it very well. That stopper there, that wave there, it can flush through a little bit. Maybe it favors some of the lighter paddlers, but Ben Halett showing absolutely no signs of bother in this top section as he looks to challenge this intermediate time of Marello Bada, only 0.76 seconds behind, as he flies through gate 15 and 16 and holds on strong into gate 17. Tries to get as high up as he can, pushes well under 17 into 18 now. Just like getting a little bit stuck on that wave. Marello Bada didn't have these costly time errors, and it's showing now into the intermediate time as Ben Halett is now 1.84 seconds behind, provisionally going into third place, excuse me, getting stuck there on the exit. Just slowing down a little bit on this bottom section here, Ben Halett, but he's going to challenge for second place here, I think. And he goes into second place, 1.46 seconds behind the lead. Ben Halett can hold on tight for the final here, but he is getting a video review on gate 1 and gate 14. Gate 14, I think, is for a 50-second penalty potentially, and Gate 1 is for a 2-second penalty. So we'll see what the video judges decide to give. But it's still getting looked at. As Ben Halet is now in second place, 1.46 seconds behind Marello Bada in our race lead time. I think that 85 buffer could be a cutoff, so I think if Ben Halet stays clean, he has a strong chance for the final. And Martan Dug also in a time of 85. His is 85.45. Also could be in today's final, as we see Jakob Brjinski of the Polish team having a very good recent selection series, pipping Michał Pasiut to the Polish team. He's been knocking on the door of that Polish senior team for a while now, Jakob Brjinski. That door finally came down for him, and he's taking the opportunity now at the European Championships. But he touches Gate 6 and he's touched Gate 10. 4 seconds in time penalties. I think is going to be too much for almost anyone in this field today. Jakob Brjinski flying around Gate 17, pushing into Gate 18 now. Having a really nice bottom section here. His Gate 10 is being video reviewed for the removal, potential removal of that penalty. And on raw time, Jakob Brjinski is ahead of our race leader, Marello Bada. He's flying down this bottom section of the course. Jakob Brjinski really coming into his own here. Those time penalties really costing him, as he would have taken our race lead time if it wasn't for those penalties. An absolute flyer of a run. Remember, Gate 10 is getting reviewed for Jakob Brjinski. If that touch comes off, he will only be 0.64 behind our race leader, Marello Bada, and he will have a strong chance of the final. So the video judges are busy, still looking at Ben Halet's run, still looking at Gate 1 and 14 for him, and still looking at Gate 4 and 10 for Jakob Brjinski, as we see our Olympic bronze medalist Palo Echan making his return to the course here in Vaires-sur-Marne. A finalist at the European Games in 2023, a finalist at the Senior World Championships also in 2023. He's been on the senior circuit for a few years now, someone who we'd hope to see in today's final, as he's a very exciting paddler. Bro, it's cold. Palo Echan is now pushing nicely through Gate 6 and 7. He's going to be really close, and he's ahead of Marello Bada. Palo Echan is attacking this course very well. I think he might just be ahead of Marello Bada at the split here, and he's just behind, 0.24 seconds behind, very close to Bada. Palo Echan is flying through this course here, looking like he's going to comfortably slot into second place, barring any late mistakes. Not even second place. It looks like he could be flying into first position here, 0.46 seconds up. Oh, he's certainly challenging Marello Bada for this race lead. That is an exceptional bottom section. Palo Echan has come into his own the more this race has gone on. He's looking to replicate that Olympic success here he had on this course. And I think we will be seeing Palo Echan in the final today, as he just goes behind Marello Bada, slots into that second position. It's an exceptional run from Palo Echan, right behind that super fast time of Marello Bada, an 83.81. I'd be surprised if that doesn't make the final. Now at the top of the course, you see his bib. It's yellow. It's because he's the reigning European champion. He's also the reigning Olympic champion from Vaires-sur-Marne in the summer, Giovanni De Janeiro. Just for your information, Ben Halet and Jakob Brjinski still under video review. No penalties have been added or removed for either of them yet. And Giovanni De Janeiro looking very smooth here on the first 3 gates. Oh, Giovanni De Janeiro struggling in Gate 7. I think he just managed to get his head inside it, but he will pay for that on the first split, and he does. 2.11 seconds behind his teammate Marello Bada, and he completely misses gate 9. Our Olympic champion, European champion, Giovanni De Janeiro, 50-second time penalty. And I can say with pretty strong confidence that that will not be coming off after video review, as he was nowhere near that gate. Such a shame to see Giovanni De Janeiro, one of our greatest paddlers, on this start line, looking like he will be eliminated at the semi-final stage at the European Championships. It's disappointing from a neutral standpoint. He's a great paddler to watch. It would have been nice to see him throw down his challenge again, but it does mean now that a new European champion will be crowned. And he misses the last gate there, and Giovanni De Janeiro just looking a little bit disappointed in himself. Not putting down his best challenge. Not happy with himself there. And as I said, our reigning European champion will not be in the final, which means a new European champion will be crowned today. And Ben Haylett has passed his video review. No extra penalties have been added. That one that I thought I saw on gate 1, the video judges have decided no penalty to be given, and gate 14, the potential 50-second time penalty, has also been given clean. He is now 1.46 seconds off the lead and putting in a strong argument for the final. Now, Matesh Pachek of Poland. Very established international paddler. Been on the scene for a while now. Competitive in both slalom and kayak cross. Provisionally in 4th place after that first split time. But I think there is some time to be had on Marello Bada at the middle section of this course. Unfortunately, I think Matesh Pachek is going to be behind again on this next split. But there is still time to be made up. 2 seconds behind, provisionally into 5th position if this carries on. But Matesh Pachek is certainly someone that can turn it around with a rapid upstream on gate 17, one stroke looking nonchalant through into gate 18. And he delivers 19 well. He's going to be very competitive with Bada now on this split. Faster than 2 seconds, I think. 0.97. Over a second quicker. And gate 21 to 22, in my opinion, the fastest we've seen so far. Absolutely exceptional from Matesh Pachek. He looks to be putting down a real argument for the final now. Challenging that race lead time of Marello Bada. He looks like he's going to go just behind, but maybe ahead of Ben Haylett, and he does. Pushes Ben Haylett down to the 4th place as we have a top 3 of Marello Bada, Palo Echan and Matesh Pachek with 12 boats gone down this course. These times are toppling as that 85.08 of Ben Haylett and 85.45 of Martan Dug that I thought could be on the bubble, getting pushed further and further out as the times start to topple. Now at the top of the course we have our only North Macedonian paddler who is in this semi-final, Angel Petrushev. He was in last year's final and he finished 6th. A very impressive result for the young North Macedonian, looking to replicate some of that European Championship success. Okay, and I can update you that Jakob Brjinski hasn't had his penalty removed, which means he stays in 6th position, 2.64 seconds off the lead. If it was removed, he would have slotted into 3rd. So unfortunate result for the Polish athlete there, as he stays just outside the bubble of that final. Angel Petrushev, however, only 0.66 seconds down on Marello Bada, looking like he could potentially replicate some of that European success that he saw in Tatsin last year. And he stays very competitive on this second split. But remember, the crunch moves, the very hard section at the bottom is coming. Does Angel Petrushev have it in him to deliver this tight technical section? We're about to find out. Getting stuck there in 18 to 19. Just struggling to keep up time with the Italian Marello Bada there, and you see 3.89 seconds now. A small mistake, and he's absolutely punished for it. The young North Macedonian paddler not looking like he'll replicate last year's European Championship success, as now he looks a long way off that race lead time. really just fell apart there for Angel Petroshev at the bottom. Just couldn't stay tight to the lines, and he's slotting into 10th place. We will not be seeing him again. Now at the top of the course, our second Spanish paddler, David Llorente, 2019 World Championship medalist at the senior level, and under 23 medalist as well. Very established paddler, 2020 Tokyo Olympian. I believe he finished 5th at that race. No stranger to these senior races, and that is an unbelievable top section. And he's 0.03 seconds faster. Falling off the wave from 9 to 10, David Llorente, and touching gate 9. Not that middle section that he will have wanted. This is going to be extremely hard now for David Llorente to put down a time competitive of the final with that massive mistake between gates 9 and 10. 5.24 seconds down, provisionally going into 10th place. Not what David Llorente is looking for, but can he close some of that deficit? Can he deliver a rapid bottom section? He flies off of that wave from 18 to 19 a lot faster than many of the competitors we've seen so far. That 5-second deficit closes to 3.75 as he fights to get away this deficit, and very tight out of gate 22. Now, David Llorente with a massive time error and a 2-second penalty, putting down a very respectable bottom section there as he slots into 6th place, just behind Martan Dug and Ben Haylett. Without that touch, he'd be in 3rd place with a massive time error. I mean, it just shows you how fast this time could potentially go. David Llorente, I think, showing that a sub-80 time is certainly on. And at the top of the course, our junior European champion. Excuse me, junior world champion also. Ziga Lin HVA, one of the most exciting young paddlers on the circuit. He's still an under 18 this year, which is hard to believe, as he consistently made it into finals at a senior level last year. Just struggling with this top section here in Vaires-sur-Marne. But if anything, it's good for Ziga if he was going to get a touch. It's better it be at the top section, because then he can fight, he can make up the time, and he's trying to do that, but 2.64 seconds behind Marello Bada now. There's some time to be had, and Ziga Lin HVA very uncharacteristically just flies straight past gate 16, and something that isn't nice to see, he just completely gives up in the eddy of gate 17, getting encouraged now to carry on. The Slovenian contingent not so happy to see that, but he will carry on down the course. Finish this runoff, but Ziga Lin HVA is not someone who we will see in today's final. Not the best run from Ziga Lin HVA. As I said, we will not be seeing him again today. But now, waiting for us at the top of the course, he is our 2016 Olympic champion. Wearing bib 3, Joe Clark. Getting away from the top now, Joe Clark, looking to put in his argument to get into today's final. Very fast away from gate 2 to 3. Off the back of the wave a bit there, but he's finding speed in and out of gate 3 as he looks to deliver this top section. This tricky little combination, 5, 6, 7. Joe does it very well, staying in the flow, staying in the fast water, and he's ahead of Marello Bada on the first split time. as we're getting closer and closer to seeing who our first finalists are. But Joe Clark falling off the wave from gate 9 to 10, just losing some time. But if there's one man who can make up some lost time, it is Joe Clark, one of the most powerful athletes on the circuit, the fastest in raw time. One of the, as I said there, fastest potential raw time athletes on the circuit. Only 1.05 seconds now behind Marcello Bada after that big mistake between gates 9 and 10. Joe just being patient there, picking up the wave from 18 to 19. But I think he needed a bit more pace there if he wants to compete with Marcello Bada. He's going to be about 2 seconds away from the lead now, 2.38. He's going to need a really great bottom section in order to compete as he looks to punt away from gate 22. Holds the bow out very well. He needs to pick up the pace here to make the final. 83.62 to beat from Marcello Bada. Is he going to make it ahead? And he just goes a bit too far behind into 8th place. I don't think we'll be seeing Joseph Clark in today's final. At the top of the course, Olympic finalist from the games here in 2024, Noah Hegge. We've not seen anyone contend for our top 5 spots in quite a while now. I think it'd be nice to see someone go ahead sometime soon. Hopefully Noah Hegge can be that guy to challenge Marcello Bada at the top, or at least slot into one of those top 5 spots. As we see a very composed top section there. 1.2 seconds behind. That's okay. Time can be made on Marcello Bada in the middle sections, but on the bottom section, you're going to have to be pretty rapid to compete with the Italian. But through here, through this middle section, and towards gate 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, that's where you can make time on the Italian. In this crunch section now, this is where Noah Hegge can make his time. This is where Noah Hegge can take the race lead. And it's an excellent curl move flying into gate 19. He's got good speed on the exit as he goes and touches that split time of Marcello Bada just behind. Getting held up in that stopper though now. Good punt off the wall, but he's going to have to pick up the speed here if he wants to take one of our top 5 positions. Very nice little end stagger there, staying close on the inside poles. It looks like he will slot into around 3rd position here. Noah Hegge slots into 4th place, just ahead of British athlete Ben Haylett. He drops in a time of 84.69. Now, we will start seeing our first qualifiers for the final very, very soon, as we have at the top of the course, Miguel Tra of Spain. Now, I think our cutoff for the final could be around a mid-85, potentially a low 84. We currently have a Martan Dug sitting on 84.45, Ben Haylett sitting on 85.08, and Noah Hegge sitting on 84.69. Those will be close to the cutoff times. Noah Hegge, Ben Haylett, and Martan Dug will be waiting tensely for these other athletes to come down to see if they get a place in the final. Miguel Tra making a little bit of a mistake there through gates 5, 6, 7, but not losing too much in time. And a lovely line under gate 9 into gate 10. He gets speed off the wave and therefore gets speed on the exit of gate 10. Miguel Tra, I believe, a World Cup winner at his home course in Laseo. He was under 23 European champion in 2023 in Bratislava in the kayak class. He won that final with a touch. Just shows how fast this paddler is as he wraps around gate 17. That's one for the highlight reel on the bow rudder. One of the nicest bow rudder upstreams you're going to see. And he is now just behind Marcello Bada by 0.49 seconds. That deficit dropping by the section. And Miguel Tra super smooth from gate 21 to 22. I think this could contend for our race lead. 83.62 is the time to beat. Miguel Tra looks to be flying in here, and he beats it 0.77 seconds ahead. You can hear the crowd here encouraging Miguel. That was a great run. I expect to see him in the final later on this morning. And one more athlete to come down before we start seeing our first finalists confirmed. Will it be Darius Papiela as our first finalist, or will it be Miguel Tra of Spain? We'll find out in around 85 seconds. Now, Darius Papiela, the vastly experienced Polish paddler, been on the circuit for many years now. Very well decorated, very experienced. You can expect to see a mature performance here in today's semi-final. And he's 0.85 seconds up. That experience showing. Darius isn't a paddler you'll see throwing his head at gates. He's got some of that old style. He'll stay precise, he'll stay exact, but he won't take too many unnecessary risks. And that does mean he puts down pretty consistent performances, as we're seeing here today in Vaires-sur-Marne. Cuts under gate 16 into 17. A real nice turn on the inside blade there on gate 17 as he pushes through gate 18 into 19. Lovely move on that lovely execution of that move on that stopper. Darius Papiela putting down an extremely competitive run now as he cuts the line from 21 to 22. He decides to cut out the stopper, flies straight into the upstream gate and gets held up in it excellently. He holds his height. This could challenge for one of our top 5 spots. And Darius Papiela behind into 8th. It's very surprising. He was only 0.95 down, and he delivered a good bottom section to the eye. It's very surprising. I'm not even sure where he lost his time there. But Darius Papiela slots into 8th, and I mentioned we will have our first finalist. It is Miguel Tra of Spain. As Marello Bada now waits. Marello Bada versus Peter Kauser. Peter Kauser, one of the goats of canoe slalom. He's been a world champion. He's been an Olympic medalist. He's pretty much won it all. 41 years of age now, still competing with the young guys on the circuit. One of the most technically gifted paddlers we have ever seen. And he's showing that from gate 9 to 10. His technique is second to none. As he looks to be up on Miguel Tra in that second split. Marello Bada versus Peter Kauser for a place in the final. Currently looks to be in the favor of Peter Kauser as he slots across those little features you saw in his face there, just looking very relaxed, very easy, very composed. The Slovenian knows exactly what it takes to get into a final. Loses his edge a little bit on the exit at 22, but very clean through 23 and 24 there at the end into 25, and he goes 0.74 behind, takes second place away from Marello Bada, qualifies himself into the final. So now we have Miguel Tra qualified for the final along with Peter Kauser. Marello Bada waiting. Also waiting just behind is Palo Echan, Matesh Pachek, Noah Hega, and then Ben Haylett down in 7th place, Martan Dug in 8th. Our first athlete, as you can hear by the crowd, Benjamin Renier of France in the start blocks, getting ready to make his charge. Benjamin Renier looked very composed at the French selection race here in Vaires-sur-Marne not long ago. Fending off the challenge from some of the younger French paddlers who look to take his place on the senior team. And look, with a 2-second time penalty on gate 5, he's only 2.4 seconds behind our race leader, Miguel Tra. It shows how fast Benjamin Renier is on raw time on this course. He is someone I would expect to see in the final, and he's capable of being in that final with a 2-second time penalty as he flies through this middle section. He's going to be close with Miguel Trave's split. 0.22 seconds down, and he has a 2-second time penalty. Remember that. Lightning around gate 17. He's done that curl move before into 18 and 19. Looking super relaxed. Very calm facial expression. And he's 0.12 faster than Trave. This is incredible from Benjamin Renier. I think we are going to see our first French finalist confirmed here today in Vaires-sur-Marne. 83.62 to beat to go into the final. And he drops below, just loses time on that bottom section. I think it shows how fast Miguel Trave is on the bottom, because that's a few athletes now that have come down into that bottom section, staying fairly in touch with the split, and the gap's just widened up as they've gone into the bottom. I really think that Miguel Trave's bottom section is extremely fast, but it does mean now that Marello Bada of Italy is our next confirmed finalist, with Palo Echan waiting. Benjamin Renier closely behind him in 5th place, and now Mario Leitner, the Sendy Austrian. He loves extreme sports, does Mario. He loves the outdoors. I think he regularly does either base jumping or paragliding. I'm not sure what the technical name for it is, but he jumps off mountains with a parachute and goes crazy. He is a crazy guy. And some of that fearlessness is showing on this canoe slalom course here in Vaires-sur-Marne. Such a gifted paddler technically, vastly experienced, been on that Austrian senior team for so many years now, knows exactly what to do at European Championships like this one. And he is just delivering exactly what he needs to. 1.3 seconds behind Miguel Trave, provisionally slotting into 6th place. Not quite enough for the final, but he's certainly throwing his hat in the ring. Decent acceleration up into 19 there, holds the inside pole excellently, and you can see gets his body forward and re-accelerates out of that move. He's now nearly 2 seconds down though. And remember how fast Miguel Trave's bottom section was? We could see that gap open up for Leitner at the bottom here now. I don't think he's going to slot into our race lead time. He might not even slot into our top 8 or 9. 85.45 to slot ahead, and 86.97. Not much wrong with that run for Mario there. Just a little bit sticky in places and just maybe not showing that intensity in those tight lines that we're seeing from the likes of Benjamin Renier, Matesh Pachek, Palo Echan, who are now on the bubble for qualification. That is Palo Echan in the final. We will see the Olympic bronze medalist in today's European Championship. Now, Benjamin Renier, the Frenchman, versus Gabrielle De Costa, the Belgian. Gabrielle De Costa, a World Cup winner in Pau in France. He likes to perform in France. It's where he lives. It's where he trains. It's his native language as well. Very used to performing in France. Now, can he do it on the big stage at the European Championships? Can he qualify for the final? He's 0.3 seconds up. I know that some of his friends from the Portuguese team, his fellow teammates from the Belgian team, he's got friends in the Croatian team, and they're all running down the bank with him there on the side. You can see Toma Ukalovic, you can see Luka Jacob from Portugal, all chasing down Gabrielle De Costa, all encouraging him as he's on an absolute run here. 0.37 seconds ahead of Miguel Trave, but remember how fast Miguel Trave's bottom section is. Gabrielle De Costa is going to have to keep going here. He's going to have to keep pushing in order to stay competitive, and he's low in gate 19. That's not going to help him. It's tricky to be behind on this third split because Miguel Trave from gate 21 to the finish was unbelievably fast. Gabrielle De Costa now going to really struggle to make the final, especially dropping an edge like that above gate 23. It's not looking too good here for the Belgian paddler as he throws his head under that gate. I think he's going to go into about 10th position here. 13th, unfortunately, for Gabrielle De Costa. It was that bottom section where it fell apart for him. It was excellently done at the top. He was flying, but he was low into gate 19, low into gate 22. And just like that, the time changes hands, and Gabrielle De Costa is not in the final. But it does mean that Benjamin Renier of France is qualified. Next to qualify is Matesh Pachek, closely followed by Noah Hega and then Ben Haley of Great Britain. With Jan Roa, Yuri Priskovic, Martin Shrobotnik, Xabi Ferrazzi, Jakob Grigor, Anatol Delasus and Titouan Kastrik still to come. Here is that first athlete, Jan Roa of Switzerland. Finished 4th at the 2023 Under-23 World Championship, He's been competing on the senior level in kayak cross for many years now. He's won World Cups. He's medaled at World Cups in the kayak cross category. He looks to make his name in slalom now. He's been in a few senior finals at a World Cup stage. Never, I think, at a senior championship event. So Jan Roa will be looking to right those wrongs, but unfortunately the judge gives him a 50-second penalty on gate 9. In my opinion, pretty harsh. He was tight to the gate, but I think it's hard to say for sure that he was only half ahead in that gate. He's 2 seconds quicker than Miguel Tra on the split. I mean, I hope for this Swiss athlete that 50-second time penalty comes off, because this is a run so far to be proud of. A very tight into gate 19. Miguel Trave's split was around 65 seconds. He's faster than that still. He's still 1.63 seconds faster than Miguel Trave. He's flying. 50-second time penalty just costing loads. Well, we'll see what the video judges have to say about Jan Roa. They'll give it a good look. He would be in our race lead if it wasn't for that 50-second time penalty, and 100% in the final. But if that time penalty stands, then it means that Matesh Pachek of Poland is in the final, and Olympic finalist Noah Hega is waiting next, closely followed by Ben Haley and then Martan Dug. Next to come, though, Yuri Priskovic, the world number 2, the 2020 Olympic champion. I believe 3 or 4-time European champion. Multiple World Cup overall winner. Hailed as the GOAT of kayak men. What he can do in a boat is incredible. Hopefully we see some of that magic here in Vaires-sur-Marne. He'd be a great paddler to see in today's final. Excellently done through gate 6 and 7, staying so tight around that inside pole of 6 and controlled in 7. This is a move that I think suits Yuri Priskovic, 9 to 10, and it does. Flies through up into gate 9-10. He's so good at re-accelerating his boat off of small little features like that. I expect to see it again on the cross from 18 to 19 and in that final move from 21 to 22. But let's see. Let's focus on the here and now. And he is 0.33 seconds faster than our race leader, Miguel Tra. Here is one of those moves that I expect to see Yuri Priskovic go extremely fast on, 18 to 19. Very good, probably the best we've seen. And another move which plays into Yuri Priskovic's hand excellently is this 21 to 22. He cuts the line. He looks to punt off the wall. Very tight exit. Yuri absolutely flying here in the bottom section. Looking to put in a time of around 83, I think. Fantastic. Yuri Priskovic will be in our final. Still, Noah Hega waits to qualify for the final, as Martin Shrobotnik is coming up next. Martin Shrobotnik struggled to get on the Slovenian senior team for the last year or two. He struggled at a senior level, which is why he's now bib 30. But just a few years ago, he was world ranked number 4. He has incredible potential, Martin Shrobotnik. He has immense raw pace. Can he hold it together? Can he hold that run together? I'm sure he's been working loads on it. Are we going to see the benefits of that work here today in Vaires-sur-Marne? A little touch on gate 6 there from Srebotnik. He's still in touch on raw time, though. He's much faster than Trave on raw pace. As I said, Martin Srebotnik, one of the fastest paddlers on the circuit when it comes to raw time. It's just those little penalties and mistakes that tend to hold him back. And look at that, even with a 2-second time penalty, Martin Srebotnik is closing the gap to our race leader, Miguel Trave, and he's fighting for a place in the final. He accelerates off the wave into gate 19. Nice from Srebotnik there in 19. Remember, Trave extremely fast on the bottom section, so the gap could widen if Srebotnik makes any small error in gate 21 and 22. But it doesn't look like he does. He gets a very tight exit out of gate 22 into 23, 24. Nicely done, 24, 25. Looks like he will take a place in the final, 84.32 to beat. And he does it. He beats 84.33 by 0.01 seconds, and he qualifies for a place in today's final. He was getting video reviewed, Martin Srebotnik, but no more. The asterisk is gone. I can now confirm that Martin Srebotnik is in the final. Noah Hega still waits with his fingers crossed as we see the young Italian, Jabi Ferrazzi, waiting at the top of the course. Jabi's got a very nice style to watch, often seen on Instagram pages such as Paddle Slalom, one of the main communication pages and advertising pages for canoe slalom in the world. Any young paddler watching it should certainly follow Paddle Slalom in order to stay up to date with all the goings on in the kayaking world. As we see Jabi Ferrazzi struggle from gate 6 to 7, holds on excellently, and he's still up on Miguel Trave at the split. He sweeps under gate 9 incredibly well. A light paddler gets picked up lovely by the wave into gate 10, and Jabi Ferrazzi really on the move here, looking for a place in that final. The deficit to get in is 1.84 seconds. Noah Hega with a time of 84.69. That's what Jabi Ferrazzi's trying to beat to make it into his first senior European Championship final. Nice sweep under gate 17 there. Very well done across into gate 18. As I said, a light paddler gets picked up lovely by these features. The way he uses his boat complements the water. And he is up on the split, 0.09 seconds. We are watching a great composed run from Jabi Ferrazzi in a semi-final. We're getting more and more used to seeing this from the young Italian. Junior world champion in 2023. He's kicking on. He's pushing. He sits up, chin up, sprint to the end, and he is qualified for the final just ahead of Noah Hega. Noah Hega still waiting now with 3 athletes to go. Jakob Brjinski, Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo 2020. Anatol Delassus, World Cup overall winner from 2024. Under 23 world champion in 2024. And then at the end, Titoan Kastrik, the favorite, the home hope, and the Olympic silver medalist from the Olympic Games here in Paris. 3 great paddlers still to come. Jakob Brjinski, he's had some injury troubles. Both of his shoulders, I believe, have been operated on, but he is back. He is looking just as fast as ever. And Jakob Brjinski, someone who has had one of the most successful junior and under 23 careers of all time. He's a regular medalist, and when he's on form, he is extremely hard to beat. As we're seeing now, such an intelligent paddler, the details of his technique are at a very, very high level. Highly refined in Liptovsky Mikuláš, in Slovakia, in the Tatra Mountains, where Jakob Brjinski often trains. We are watching a masterful performance in this semi-final from Jakob Brjinski. Barring any late disruptions at the bottom of this course, I would be fairly confident to say that Jakob Brjinski is on pace to qualify for today's final. 1.84 second deficit is what he has to beat to make the final. Getting a little bit stuck now between gate 22 and 23 as he exits. But Not too much of a time deficit. Not enough to fall behind Noah Hegge of 84.69. 84.64. Blinking heck. That is very tight racing there. Jakob Brjinski flying into 10th position. Last to qualify as it stands. Noah Hegge now in 11th place. Ben Haler in 12th place. Martan Dug confirmed eliminated from the semi-final. It is between Noah Hegge and Ben Haler versus Anatole Delasus and Titouan Kastrik. I think the French crowd are confident of their paddlers here. Anatole Delasus, such a consistent performer in semi-finals last year. He made every World Cup final, qualified through every semi-final he took a part on. And he won the Under-23 World Championship, and he won the World Cup overall standings. He medalled at World Cup 4 in Ivrea in Italy. If there's anyone that's on form in World Canoe Slalom, it's Anatole Delasus. Anatole Delasus with the encouragement of this French crowd. He's flying. Is he going to go ahead on the split? Just behind, but he's pretty much on par with that time of Miguel Tra. Anatole Delasus now getting into gate 17. His bow getting stuck on the block. That gate 17 is very close to the wall, and Anatole Delasus's bow crashed into the wall, just slowing him down for a second there. Anatole Delasus is really going to have to turn up the pace now in order to qualify for this final. The deficit is 1.84 seconds to qualify. Anatole Delasus pushing it extremely tight now. This is drama now. This is intense. Anatole Delasus fighting to get into this final. 84.69 to make it in. Him or Noah Hegge. Who will it be? And it's Noah Hegge beats Anatole Delasus. He's out. The home hero, Anatole Delasus, the World Cup overall winner from last year, is out in Vaires-sur-Marne. Noah Hegge, the Olympic finalist, qualifies for the final in some late drama. And now, Ben Haler versus Titouan Kastrik. Titouan Kastrik, definitely a favorite in that battle, but Ben Haler has the advantage that his time is already on the board. Titouan Kastrik has it all still to do. Ben Haler waiting with his time already posted up. Titouan Kastrik, though, won the Olympic semi-final comfortably. Flying now down this middle section. Whoa! Tight from Titouan Kastrik there, keeping the crowd on their toes, but 1.33 seconds faster. This looks very sweet, very composed from Titouan Kastrik. As Ben Haler waits to qualify for this final. But he will not like what he's seeing from Titouan Kastrik. 2.66 seconds ahead of our race leader, Miguel Tra. Whoa, very tight around gate 17, setting that up way outside the gate. Rights his wrongs. He struggled on that move there, 18 to 19 in the Olympic Games, but he rights it now, 3.24 seconds faster than Miguel Tra. This is why he's the favorite. This is why the crowd have come to watch him. And this is why he's one of the most promising talents. Titouan Kastrik doesn't even care to sprint to the finish line. He doesn't need to. He wipes his nose before he gets there, and he destroys the competition. 2.22 seconds faster than anybody else, and he didn't even try from gate 25 onwards. That is a show of confidence. There will be a video review now for all these athletes before they fight for this final, and they will see Titouan Kastrik float to the finish line. It'll be demoralizing for them, as they know that it'll take an unbelievable performance to beat Titouan in this final later on today. Well, to recap that dramatic semi-final there, we had some surprise omissions. The 2016 Olympic champion Joe Clark is out, along with the World Cup overall winner Anatole Delasus. Ben Haler finishing 13th position, just outside the final, but Miguel Tra with a very nice fast run. Titouan Kastrik winning. Peter Kauser and Jiri Priskovic, the two GOATs in this final. Jakub Grigor, Noah Hege, just clinching into the end. And remember what I said about the women's final. I said that the medalists often hide at the start of finals, and the start of the next final, we will see Noah Hege, Jakub Grigor, and Xabi Ferrazzi kick us off. Can any of those three qualify for the... Sorry, can any of those three fight for medals? The statistics say they will. Which one of them may it be? 4.06 seconds. That was the gap between first and 12th to qualify for the European Championship final. A time of 84.69 was the cutoff. Those mid-80s ended up doing the trick. Only two athletes qualified for the final with a touch. Those two athletes were Martin Srabotnik and Benjamin Renia. So keep your eye on those two, as their raw time can certainly compete with the lightning-fast Titouan Kastrik. Next up for you at 11:30 Central European time, we have the women's final kicking off with Claudia Zerolinska. Will she retain her title? Will it be stolen by the home favorite, Emma Vuitton? Will it be stolen by the experienced Milin Shuro, Kimberly Woods, maybe the Olympic bronze medalist? Find out at 11:30 here on the ECA YouTube channel. See you then.
Putain, ça serait cool. Le rouge, je l'ai, hein. Ouais.
Vas-y, bah, je vais voir la lunette.
Ah ouais, ça peut être cool, ouais, si tu veux.
Quand je prends ma charrue, ils sont défoncés là à la butte, ça grave du monde. Mais après, pendant les
Après,
courses,
pendant les courses, comme ça, nous, après, on est tranquille.
vas-y, ça va.
One minute to go now until the start of this women's kayak final. We'll be operating in a 6 and then 6 format. 6 athletes will come down. I believe there'll be a little bit of a break and then 6 more. Either way, we're starting off with Claudia Zerolinska, the reigning European champion, the Olympic silver medalist. Just making it into this final, just squeezing in after Lucia Neznalova was given a late 50 on gate 16. Some good karma here for Claudia Zerolinska, paying back, and away she goes, making her charge to retain this European title. Remember, guys, medalists often hide at the start of finals. We could be seeing some medal-worthy runs coming down pretty early. Looks like Claudia's got not the fastest top split that we saw. Let's hope she can build into this run. Claudia just staying a little bit sticky around gate 10 there. Just guiding her boat through 12 and 13 and touching gate 13. This isn't the run we'd expect to see from the reigning European champion. Just looking like she's struggling with the tightness of this course here in Vaires-sur-Marne. And Claudia Zerolinska now putting in the third split time for others to compare themselves to. She'll put herself on the board with an okay run. Looking like it could be mid to late 90s here. More like late 90s. Yeah, 97.2 from Claudia Zerolinska. That would have put her 9th in the semi-final. I expect the times here in this women's final to get... I mean, we could see a winner close to 90. We saw a 91 from Kimberly Woods, an exceptionally fast run. We saw it. The semi-final was actually won by Emma Vuitton in 93.19. I think we'll get around there again, if not even faster. So, Claudia Zerolinska possibly out of the medal contention, but Gabriella Sakova. Can Gabriella grab a medal here in this women's final? And the only Czech hope left in this competition is Gabriella Sakova. She is the 2024 Olympian in the C1 women category for the Czech Republic. And she's getting underway here in Vaires-sur-Marne. Just using the wave there up into gate 10. Get some good movement through it, and she fights away. Gabriella Sakova here on her way. Two-second time penalty for Sakova on gate 17. It's going to be really hard for her to challenge for a medal with that time, but she was 2.64 seconds up, and she's still 2.77 seconds up on Claudia Zerolinska's time. Remember, low 90s is what we expect a medal, and Gabriella Sakova could be grabbing a medal here with an exceptionally fast raw time, 92.59 in total, including a 2-second time penalty, which means we just saw a 90-second run come down from Gabriella Sakova. Gabriella Sakova was European under-23 champion in the C1 category back in 2023. She's a World Cup medalist. She's an Olympic finalist. She's shown her pedigree with a 90-second run, the fastest run of the day. A 2-second time penalty, making it catchable for the rest of these athletes, though, as we see last year's medalist at the European Championships in kayak cross, Elena Marx, showing her hand in the kayak category now. As Elena Marx looked to make her mark on this course here in Vaires-sur-Marne. Tidy start there from Elena Marx. Something she'll be happy with. Her brother Dimitri, we can expect to see him in the kayak cross event on Sunday. And she looks to be up on the first split. Elena Marx putting in a solid challenge, but remember, Gabriella Sakova was extremely fast in the bottom sections, and Elena Marx slings her head way back at gate 9. Let's see what the judges have to say about that. We'll be getting video reviews and lots of camera angles there. As you see, there's now a review being made on gate 9, but unfortunately a touch on gate 12 for Elena Marx. This is starting to unravel a little bit. She needs to put the boat back online and put the run back where it should be now. .64, she's up on Gabriella Sakova's raw time. This is an incredible raw time run from Elena Marx, but unfortunately I just don't think it will compete with our race lead time, seeing as she has a 2-second time penalty. And unfortunately, I was wrong there. It wasn't competing with the raw time. It was down. They both had a 2-second time penalty. She was continuously about 1.5 to 2 seconds down on Gabriella Sakova throughout that run, and she finishes 3.18 seconds behind Gabriella Sakova, who's in the lead. Now, 95.77 is a respectable total time. It would have put her 6th in our semi-final this morning. Not a bad effort from the Swiss paddler. Now, from Italy, Kiara Sabatini. Kiara hoping to crack the code of this course. Let's see what she can do. Very experienced paddler. Been around that international circuit for a while. She's been on the Italian senior team for many years in a row. She's got vast experience at senior races. A regular on the circuit. Can she put those learnt skills over these many years to show on this course? We're about to find out. Unfortunately, not on gate 6. Picking up a big bow touch. That's going to put her quite far down on this first split. She has some serious work to do to catch up with Gabriella Sakova. Remember, Gabriella Sakova's touch was down on gate 17, meaning these splits that she's comparing herself against now are clean splits from Sakova. .8 seconds down now. Remember, those are clean splits from Sakova, so she's about 1 second down on total time to Sakova at the moment. Stays clean on 17, unlike Sakova, so she could be up now, but she's just finding it a little bit tricky to get high into 19. Loses the height and loses a bit of speed as well, and she's going to lose that little bit of advantage she had, and it drops now to 4.91 seconds. Unfortunately, Kiara Sabatini just struggling now in these bottom sections of the course as she looks pretty fatigued pulling up and out of gate 22. Very tight there on 25. Just spinning her head inside the gate, but it's not going to be enough. Kiara Sabatini slotting into 4th place there with a total time of 100.25. That is the first time that's come down in this final that wouldn't have qualified for the semi-final. So, an entertaining final so far. No one really coming close to Gabriella Sakova's time there at the top. Remember, the medalist hide at the start of finals, Gabriella Sakova was down 2nd. She came down the course 2nd, and she looks to have put in a very strong argument for a medal. Now, we have Zusanna Pankova of Slovakia. As I've said before, the C1 Olympian. She has been a junior world champion in this category. As she gets underway here in this top section. Nice start there from Zusanna Pankova, and she's 0.12 seconds down compared to Gabriella Sakova in the lead. Staying on a clean run so far. Not so tight around gate 10 there, just a little half meter or so below the gate. That'll cost her a bit on raw time, and that might well show up in this next split time. And it does. 1.72 seconds behind now. Gabriella Sakova, remember though, had a touch on gate 17. Zusanna Pankova can take advantage of that with a good section here. Very good acceleration, high into 19. Look at that, on the sweep stroke, as soon as she gets past the pole. I think she will be very in touch with Gabriella Sakova's split time now. She's 0.16 seconds up. This is competitive. Zusanna Pankova now coming towards the end of this run. She could challenge the race lead time here. This is going to be very close. 92.59 to beat. Oh, 1.08 seconds behind. Zusanna Pankova could be close for a medal there. She waves at the crowd in a little bit of disappointment, but also celebration. It was a good run from her there. The 2004 born youngster from Slovakia. Top athlete, putting in strong case for a medal, but there's still 7 athletes to go. 7 athletes to knock Gabriella Sakova, Zusanna Pankova and Elena Marx off the podium. And the first of those is Super Sonia Stonka of Slovakia. She begins her charge now to fight against that time of Gabriella Sakova. Lovely stuff there from Sonia Stonka on this top section. And once again, we see an athlete in touch with Gabriella Sakova's first split time. Staying tighter on gate 10 than some of the other athletes have been. That'll be a strong time advantage for Sonia Stonka. As she fights now in towards this middle section, approaching this second split, 0.46. The deficit to Gabriella Sakova is opening up a little bit. But as I've mentioned before, that gate 17, Gabriella Sakova did touch it. There is a 2-second time penalty in this split section for Sakova, but clearly her raw time is very fast. And Sonia Stonka is struggling to stay in touch, but she just about does, and looks like she's going to be up now, just down, 0.1 seconds down. Oh, and Sonia Stonka loses the bow a little bit there into gate 22. The water pushing her away from the sweep stroke she wanted to be on. Just has to fight a little bit against the wall, against the water. She's going to be close now to put in a contest for Gabriella Sakova's time, maybe slotting into second or third here, and she kicks Elena Marx off the podium, goes into third place in a time of 93.71. 93.71 would have had you in third place after the semi-final this morning. These are very competitive runs for medals. Gabriella Sakova comfortably out in front, but Zusanna Pankova and Sonia Stonka strong contenders for medals here. As Stephanie Horn readies on the start line. Stephanie Horn, winner of the Ivrea World Cup at the end of 2024 last season. No stranger to big moments. I know that her and Ricardo Funk, who's coming next, have had a bit of a rivalry for many years. She was also winner of the European Championships in 2022 in Liptovsky. She loves this race, but not a good start. Touching gate 1, Stephanie Horn maybe just lacking the concentration off the start line a little bit there. As she looks to right that wrong on the rest of this course, but touching gate 6 as well, 4 seconds of time penalties. I think she's going to seriously struggle to compete for one of those medal positions with 4 seconds of time penalties, but she's only 2.5 seconds behind Gabriella Sakova, which would provisionally put her into 4th place. If she can fight, if she can build up a little bit of space, a little bit of time, she could contend for one of those medal positions against Sonia Stonka or Zusanna Pankova. The gap is closing. Stephanie Horn is hunting down those young athletes, Sonia Stonka and Zusanna Pankova on the podium. A little bit sluggish around 17 though. Not the usual intensity we'd expect to see from Stephanie Horn on the upstream gates, but she corrects that on gate 19, flying around it. This gap is closing. 2.04 seconds now. Struggling a little bit, Stephanie Horn, but stays tight around the pole on gate 22. Pushing well on gate 23, 24. Approaching the finish line now. I don't think she's going to contend for the race lead, but can she drop into one of our medal positions? Not quite, unfortunately. Those 4 seconds of penalties just proving very costly for Stephanie Horn. She'd be comfortably into our race lead by 1.7 seconds if it wasn't for those touches. But that is not what canoe slalom is. That's not the name of the game. Touches and runtime count. Can be as fast as you want. If you've got penalties, you aren't going to win. Now, arrival of Stephanie Horn, an established senior athlete, Ricardo Funk. Ricardo looking to recover from her Olympic woes here. She potentially lost an Olympic medal on the back straight section of this course. She won the Augsburg World Championships in 2022. She won Sail World Cup 5 also in 2022. She is a constant winner. European Games in Krakow 2023. She won that as well. She loves the European Championship. She loves to win. That's why she's bib 1. That's why she's pushing on this course to knock Gabriella Sakova off the podium. Off the top, sorry. .82 seconds to the lead. We're seeing why Ricardo Funk was European champion in 2022 and in 2023. She's looking to regain that title, win her 3rd European Championship in 4 years, and she's putting down a run that looks worthy of it. As Fantastic Funk approaches the second split, she is 3.33 seconds ahead of our current race leader, Gabriella Sakova. You are watching an incredible run here from Ricardo Funk. As I mentioned, Ricardo looking for retribution here on this back straight section. She starts to deliver it very well. Now this next section, this is where Ricardo came undone. This is where the demons may be in her mind. Can she recover it? She's got 5 seconds to play with. This is incredible. Over that feature, a little bit sticky, maybe just dealing with that psychological impact of the games. But as I said, 5 seconds to play with. She's comfortably up. This could even be under 90 seconds from Ricardo Funk. It looks like it is. It's going to be a high 80. 89.36. Wow, Ricardo Funk absolutely smashes the race lead time by 3.23 seconds. She could be well on her way to her 3rd European Championship title in 4 years. Now, after that incredible run from Ricardo Funk, we have Ida Novak, Slovenian paddler. Can Ida challenge that run of Ricardo Funk? It's gonna be a tall order, that's for sure. So fastest run time by over 2 seconds. Fastest run time by over 1 second, excuse me, and Ida Novak picks up a 2-second penalty on gate 1. It's going to be hard to challenge Ricardo Funk with a 2-second time penalty, but Gabriella Sakova in second place herself has a 2-second time penalty, so it could be possible to slot into 2nd or 3rd position here for Ida Novak. 3.89 seconds down is provisionally 3rd place. That's what Ida Novak's competing for right now. Can she squeeze 2nd place out of it? Can she pick up the time? And can she hold on in that 3rd position? It's looking like that time is really slipping away from her now. She looks like she could be over 5 seconds down in this next split time. And it's 7.89 now. It's gonna be difficult. I don't know, that now 11.52 seconds down. Unfortunately, this really isn't going to contend for our race lead time. A disappointing final for Ida Novak. But a respectable result, putting herself into the European Championship final this year. A little bit of disappointment not to be for her today, as we now look to the top for Milin Shuro, winner of the World Cup final in Liceo de Oro last year. As she waits patiently to get this race underway. Milin Shuro, Rio 2016 Olympic champion, experienced paddler. Multiple Olympic medalist, and as I mentioned there, Olympic champion, looking to put down her fight against Ricardo Funk. So unfortunately 1.63 seconds down now on Ricardo. Hard to stay in touch with that incredible time that Ricardo put down. Remember, Ricardo herself is the athlete that took that Olympic title off of Milin Shuro. She won it in 2021 in Tokyo. It's Olympic champion against Olympic champion right now. And Milin Shuro with a touch on gate 17. This deficit just growing now for Milin Shuro. Looking like she won't find herself in a medal position today. Milin a little disappointed at the end of the run there. Putting herself in the top 10 today. A respectable run for the veteran from Spain. Now, 2 athletes to go. Former under-23 world champion Emma Vuitton will finish off this category. But first, Kimberly Woods, Olympic bronze medalist here from Vaires-sur-Marne. She knows how to medal on this course. She knows how to throw down a good race run. She'll be feeling confident on this start line, sitting under that kayak cross start ramp where she won another Olympic bronze medal from just under a year ago here in Vaires-sur-Marne in Paris. And Kimberly Woods, will she win? Decent little top section there from Kimberly, staying close to the poles. Let's see on gate 5, 6, 7 if she stays tight. She does stay tight on the inside poles. That means she's taking a nice short line, only 1.07 behind Ricardo Funk. Remember, the gap from Ricardo Funk to the next medal position is 3.23 seconds. That's what Kimberly Woods needs to find herself inside to get a medal here. She goes into second place, she gets a medal. Kimberly Woods needing to really push this pace now if she wants to stay in touch with that time of Ricardo Funk. 3.35 seconds down now, provisionally falling into third place here for Kimberly Woods. And Kimberly, no, missing out on gate 16. Absolute nightmare for the athlete from Great Britain. Just losing a bit of concentration there, perhaps already thinking about that hard move from 17, 18, 19, and just forgetting about that gate 16. And I think it's safe to say the run is now over for Kimberly Woods from Great Britain. The Olympic bronze medalist will not replicate that success on this run here today. It's tough to see, but it's good that she's finishing off this run. She'll put in her time. She'll get all the gates. And the crowd will clap her to the finish line now. So, Ricardo Funk has a gold or silver medal. Gabriella Sakova has a silver or a bronze medal. And Emma Vuitton or Zusanna Pankova for that bronze medal position. Can Emma Vuitton knock Ricardo Funk off the lead? Here we go. Emma Vuitton of France. Can Vuitton find victory here in the course in Vaires-sur-Marne? The home crowd is certainly encouraging her to that standpoint. Can she challenge the 2020 Olympic champion Ricardo Funk? It'll be a tall order, but if there's someone who can do it at the end of the class, it is Emma Vuitton. Staying very tight on gate 7, a little bit down on this first split now. Provisionally falling into second place now, Emma Vuitton. She picks up that wave expertly into gate 10. She's absolutely flying through that section. This is getting loud in Vaires-sur-Marne now. The encouragement from that French crowd, you can see there on that left bank. 1.85 seconds down. It's a deficit she can make up on this bottom section. There's time to be had, but she crashes into the block above gate 17. Drama for Emma Vuitton. Can she hold on for a medal now? I think it's safe to say that the gold medal is going to Ricardo Funk of Germany. But Emma Vuitton now fighting against Gabriella Sakova and Zusanna Pankova for a medal at these European Championships. She's pretty far off it now, 5.01 seconds. It's 4.31 to make a medal, and she picks up another touch. The French fans have their hands on their head here on the side of the bank as Emma Vuitton misses out on a medal at these European Championships. And your winner here today in Vaires-sur-Marne is Ricardo Funk of Germany, there in the middle with Zusanna Pankova, the youngster, 2004 born, along with Gabriella Sakova. Gabriella Sakova was the medalist hiding at the start of the final, as we thought we would see. Managing to get on the podium with a touch, a very respectable run there from Gabriella Sakova. The fastest run time of the day by over a second from Ricardo Funk. The second fastest run time still came from Gabriella Sakova. And Zusanna Pankova with a 93.67. The same run would have put her third in the semi-final, and it puts her third in the final now. There you have your final results. Ricardo Funk, European champion. Gabriella Sakova, silver medalist. And Zusanna Pankova rounding off our podium for Slovakia. Well, after that dramatic final, the big ending there with Emma Vuitton crashing into the blocks above gate 17. We have the men's coming up at 12 Central European time in 10 minutes. See you then.
Are we good? Congratulations, Ricardo. You just flew down the course. How did you see today's final from the boat?
Thank you so much. Actually, I was pretty nervous, and I don't know. It was a tricky course. I was actually most scared of gate number 1, but I'm really happy and glad that I had such a good run.
Which was the decisive part where you made the biggest difference?
Well, I felt like the top part was really good. I was in the flow. I was just not thinking. I was just doing and using the water, and I'm really, really happy.
Last year you were pretty disappointed at this course, but now you won your 3rd European champion title. Do you feel a bit better now?
Yes, I mean, now I can be friends with this course. I can be friends with Paris, and yeah, I had some deep emotions inside today, but it turned out good.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Spanish?
Hello, we are back for this men's kayak final, starting in around 1 minute's time with Noah Hege there, as you see, closely followed by Jakob Grigor, then Jabi Ferrazzi. This final will be finished off by Titoan Kastrik, the local hero, the Olympic silver medalist, looking for redemption on this course, where he won that Olympic silver medal. He feels it should have been gold. He had a big mistake in his run. It cost him the Olympic gold medal. He'll be looking to correct that here at the European Championships. Firstly, we have Noah Hege looking to get his challenge underway now. Our only German in the final, looking to fly the flag here in France. Brilliant first two upstreams from Noah Hege. Kayak men, typically the tightest and most dramatic class on the circuit. It always provides a really good watch in the final. Let's see if it can provide us for that today. I tell you what, it'll take some beating to see a run better than Ricardo Funk's that we just saw in that women's kayak semi-final. The men have got some job to do in order to beat that performance, and Noah Hege attempting that, unfortunately, with a 2-second time penalty there on gate 12 as he drives forward into gate 17, keeps his bow outside the gate, which is very important. Gate 17 is close to the wall there. We saw Anatol Delasus in the semi-final hitting his nose off the wall, costing him some time, so we'll see the athletes maybe turning quite outside 17 in order to keep that bow away from the wall, making it a slightly more technical move than maybe it seems. Now Noah Hege slotting into a time of 86.67. That isn't a time that would have qualified for the semi-final this morning. So, excuse me, that isn't a time that would have qualified for the final if it had have gone down in the semi-final. So, I would be surprised if that contends for a medal. I reckon that'll finish somewhere between 8th and 10th, something like that. Not the run Noah Hege was looking for, but we have Jakob Grigor. Can he be our medalist hiding at the start of the final today? He's certainly shown in past experiences that he can. One of the most successful junior and under-23 careers we've ever seen comes from Jakob Grigor. He's the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo 2020. Since then, he's had shoulder operations, he's had injury issues, but right now he looks back and sharp as ever. Jakob Grigor off to a flying start in gate 1, his head very close to the inside pole, taking that tight line. That's the fast line, and these are the risks you have to take nowadays with canoe slalom getting faster and faster at the top level. You have to take risks, you have to push the lines if you want to be in contention for championship medals. Jakob Grigor with an excellent line through gate 9 and 10. He held his width on gate 9, he stayed patient, and it allowed him to carry speed off of the feature into gate 10. As he looks very composed going through gate 10, 12, 13, 14. This isn't somewhere where you're going to win the race, but it's certainly somewhere where you can lose it by picking up time penalties. So Jakob Grigor taking the smart approach, staying composed, staying on line. And now this is somewhere where you can win the race. Gate 18 to 19, and then 21 to 22. Jakob Grigor not doing the best from 18 to 19 there. He is up on the split of Noah Hege, but not by as much as he'd like, seeing as Noah Hege's total time is an 86. And not the run through 21 and 22 that Jakob Grigor would have hoped for. I'd be surprised if this run contends for a medal. Remember, Titoan Kastrik won the semi-final in a time of 80. 79, I think it was, actually, no. 80.63 it was, and Jakob Grigor goes into 85.51. Again, that is a time that wouldn't have qualified for today's final. We are yet to see a time in this final that has gone faster than the semi-final from earlier, showing you how hard it was to get into this final. But we expect some of these other athletes to really step it up now. Now, Will our medalist be Xabi Ferrazzi, or will there be no medalist at the start of the final today? Let's find out as Xabi Ferrazzi gets ready to put in his contest for a medal. Xabi has serious pedigree. His dad, Pier Paolo Ferrazzi, an Olympic champion. Italian coach, Daniele Momenti, also Olympic champion. Giovanni De Janeiro, also Olympic champion. Italians, it runs in their blood to win the Olympic Games. Xabi Ferrazzi hoping to show some of that Italian pedigree, some of that Italian might here on this course in Vaires-sur-Marne. He looks to be pushing it. Now, I will note that Xabi always looks his best when he looks relaxed, when he looks composed. I've seen him turn up the pace, and it hasn't worked out in his favor previously. So he'll be hoping to find that balance of composure and intensity in this run today. And it looks like it's going incredibly well so far, as Xabi is fighting through that top section with a really fast top split. And that gate 9 to 10 was exceptional, one of the best we've seen today. And Xabi Ferrazzi in the middle of all these downstream gates, not taking any unnecessary risks, not losing the race on an easy section. And 1.84 seconds to the good as he goes into that gate 17. Looks to leave his boat outside, and he does. Pushes nicely into gate 18. Needs to keep the bow up into 19. Super tight 19 exit. Lovely weight forward on the front. Xabi Ferrazzi looks like he can really contend for a medal with this run, as he's 3.75 seconds ahead of Jakob Brjinski, but he misses the 21 to 22 stop across as bow comes up, touches gate 22. Maybe Xabi was happy with the run that he was having, sitting on comfort, and he's touched gate 22. Costing him loads, it cost him time, it cost him a penalty, and he still put in an 83.36, which is an incredible run time, and 81.36 raw time, which would have had him second in today's semi-final, but now 83.36, it would have had him third place in the semi-final, so that run there can still contend for a medal. It's still possible, it's still on, as Matesh Pachek now lines up. Xabi looking a little bit disappointed here on my screen at the bottom. The Italian contingent here just shaking his hand as he just looks a little bit unhappy with himself, as he knew that was the run to win his first senior medal. He knew that was the opportunity. But Matesh Pachek up next. And away we go for Matesh Pachek. I believe competed at the 2012 Olympic Games. He competed at the 2024 Olympic Games. 12 years apart. An experienced athlete, been on the scene a long time. And I will be looking to show some of these younger athletes like Xabi Ferrazzi, like Palo Echan, like Titoan Kastrik, how it's done. And he looks to be putting a pretty good challenge for that so far on this course here in Vaires-sur-Marne. He collects that easy section through that back straight, staying in the middle of the gate. As you see with those top athletes, they don't take any unnecessary risks. They collect those easier gates, and they really focus their attention on these harder sections, such as 17, 18, and 19, which is coming up now. Oh, and he drops his paddle. He drops his paddle, he capsizes, and he touched gate 18, and it's disaster for Matesh Pachek. He's trying to pull himself back up the side of the course, and he's holding on to his paddle. Look, he looks determined to get back up and finish this run. The water doesn't look like it's working with him, but he's getting... No, he's not going to get there. Well, it was a good effort from Pachek to try to get back up. Absolute disaster. He puts his arm in the air to say, what could I have done? The water said no. Today, not Pachek's day, as Xabi Ferrazzi survives yet another contender for his race lead. And there he goes, holds his hand up to the crowd to say, I tried to get back, I tried to get all the gates. Wasn't to be. Now, at the top of the course, waiting in the start blocks is Martin Shrobotnik. There you see your current podium. Xabi Ferrazzi, Jakub Grigor and Noah Hege. Martin Shrobotnik of Slovenia struggled in recent seasons at the senior international stage, looking to get himself back on track here in this Vaires-sur-Marne final. As I mentioned in the semi-final, Martin's one of the fastest paddlers in the world on raw speed. Usually it's penalties and little silly errors that cost him podiums and titles. Let's see if he can eradicate those errors today, stay concentrated, stay focused, and beat that race lead time of Xabi Ferrazzi. Remember, all of Xabi's time loss came in the bottom section, so if Martin Shrobotnik is in touch with Xabi Ferrazzi at the top, he could be on to smash the race lead time. Approaching the second split now, 1.18 seconds down. Remember, Xabi Ferrazzi has a touch and a time error on gate 22. Very good approach through there from Martin Shrobotnik. 18 into 19. Accelerates away. Get his weight on the front of the boat to re-accelerate it. Martin Shrobotnik using all his experience and his knowledge here. And this is where you can take time out of Xabi Ferrazzi. This is where he had his mistake. And Martin Shrobotnik punts off the wall excellently. Moving into the last three gates. These are collectible gates. He should keep his concentration. And he does. And Martin Shrobotnik is moving towards a potential medal-winning time here with an 81.91. Incredible run from Martin Shrobotnik. There's that raw pace that I was talking about. There's Martin Shrobotnik's pure speed. He's certainly got himself back on track here today. As Xabi Ferrazzi says goodbye to Noah Hege, who's pushed off the podium by Martin Shrobotnik. Xabi sort of rolling his eyes a little bit as if Martin Shrobotnik's gone ahead of him. And you've still got the likes of Tituan Kastrik, Peter Kauser, Benjamin Renier, Yuri Priskovic still to come. He's going to have to be seriously lucky to hold on for a medal, but Xabi has his time on the board, as does Martin Shrobotnik in first place, 81.91. I would be shocked if that gets pushed off the podium, but if there's anyone that can topple that time, it is this man. It is the Czech GOAT, Yuri Priskovic. And away we go across the finish line. Yuri Priskovic begins his challenge to reclaim his European title, which I think he can comfortably call his with the amount of times he's won this competition. The 2020 Olympic champion, two-time world champion, using his boat excellently to re-accelerate from gate 3. Looking incredibly composed through gate 5, 6, and 7. He knows that the race doesn't need to be pushed in the top few gates. He needs to maintain his energy. He needs to maintain his focus. For that bottom section, he grits his teeth out of gate 10 as he starts to push this boat now. Yuri Priskovic looking incredibly composed through this middle section. Once again, an experienced paddler, not taking unnecessary risks, and it pays off. He's a second ahead of Martin Shrobotnik. Martin Shrobotnik, though, with a very, very fast bottom section. Yuri Priskovic will be doing well to contend with it, and it looks like he's putting in that fight. Uses the boat amazingly through 18 and 19. That is one of the fastest we've seen today. Looking at that bottom split, he is way up on Martin Shrobotnik. Cuts the line here, looks to punt off the wall. Excellent job, rolls his edge in order to stay out of that stopper, out of gate 22. He does it well, he pushes towards the finish line. This is gonna go under 80 seconds from Yuri Priskovic. Is it? Oh, just 80.03. But I tell you what, he has destroyed Martin Shrobotnik's time by 1.88 seconds. Well, I said I'd be surprised if Martin Shrobotnik gets pushed off the podium, but wow. He might even be struggling to hold on here. As Yuri Priskovic puts in a time of 80.03, Tituan Kastrik put in an 80.63, earlier in the semi-final, but remember, Titouan Kastrik did not paddle to the finish line. He didn't try, he didn't sprint. We think there's more time in Titouan Kastrik's run. If there's one man that can contend with Yuri Priskovic's time, it's Titouan Kastrik, but it's also his compatriot, Benjamin Renia, the experienced Frenchman, the man who always looks so composed on Vaires-sur-Marne. And away we go here, Benjamin Renia of France, trying to fight Yuri Priskovic off that podium. What a move through 2 and 3. Delivers that exactly as he would have visualized. And will he look as smooth as Yuri Priskovic through 5, 6, and 7? He doesn't. He definitely loses time on Priskovic in that little 3-gate stagger, and it reflects 1.56 seconds down. He sweeps under gate 9, gets a real nice run up into gate 10. That was just as good as Yuri there, if not faster, but he touches gate 10 on the exit with his paddle. I'm not sure if the judges will have seen that, but I'm sure it will get picked up on video, as Benjamin Renia now possibly has a 2-second time penalty to add to his time. And he's down on Yuri Priskovic still, though, 2.28 seconds. Benjamin Renia going to have to really light up the stadium here on the bottom section if he wants to take a medal from these European Championships. My French colleague next to me here predicted that Benjamin Renia would finish this competition in 5th place. And it's looking like he could be up in those positions. He has now been given that 2-second time penalty that I saw in gate 10. He flies under gate 25. It's going to be behind, and he drops into 5th place. I doubt he'll stay there, however. Benjamin Renia doesn't quite do the run he was hoping for in an extremely hard final, a well-contested final, where Xabi Ferrazzi, Martin Trabotnik and Yuri Priskovic have put down brilliant runs. We see in the background there, bib number 4, Titouan Kastrik, walking around on the bank, out of his boat as he prepares for the final coming up at 12:37. We can expect to see Titouan in around 10 minutes, but first, we get to enjoy Palo Echan, the Olympic bronze medalist. He shared a podium with Titouan Kastrik back in July. Or maybe it was early August. I can't remember. And Palo Echan looking to excite this stadium as he begins his contest. Will he put down the dream run again like he did at the Olympics? If he stays clean, he's showing that he can win races here with a clean run. That Olympic podium time did have a 2-second time penalty attached to it. Without that, he would have won the Olympic Games, so he's certainly capable of knocking Yuri Priskovic off of that top spot. Oh, and he misses gate 9. Gate 9 tucked away behind those blocks there. You have to make the move early if you want to get onto that feature, and Palo Echan is making the move too early. Big mistake from the Spaniard there. And now he'll just be polishing off the rest of this run. I wouldn't be surprised if he attacks it quite a lot just to get that race feeling. And he does a crossbow going into gate 17. He's showing off a little bit here as he knows the run is out the window. He's just having a little bit of fun on the course now. And that deficit to Yuri Priskovic just extending and extending more with that touch on gate 22. Not to be for Palo Echan today. As he cruises to the finish line. Looks to the sky in disappointment. Not to be. Next up, I see him in the start blocks. It's Marello Bada of Italy, World Championship bronze medalist from Bratislava 2021. And away we go for Marello Bada in Vaires-sur-Marne here. There he is back on our screens. I would say it'd have to take an incredible run from Marello Bada to knock that time of Jiri Priskovic off. And it looks like he's just a bit sticky there through gate 1, 2, and 3. Not the ideal start for Marello Bada, and it's going to reflect in this split time as he just dodges into gate 7, and he's almost 4 seconds down on the first split. And that time just running further and further away now from Marello Bada. Looking like he's really going to struggle to contend with Jiri Priskovic, Martin Srabotnik, or Xabi Ferrazzi for one of those podium places. Marello Bada struggling there into gate 23, not producing the final performance he would have hoped for. Looking like he might fall down into about 7th position here. And he does drop into 7th. So only 3 athletes to go in today's final of the European Championships. 9 athletes already gone. It's flown by. Remember, we had that blinder of a run from Jiri Priskovic. We had the raw pace of Martin Srabotnik. We had the incredible run and then the mistake on gate 22 from Xabi Ferrazzi. We had a solid, strong performance from Jakob Grigor. Benjamin Renier with a composed run, including a touch. And Noah Hegger not putting down the run he wanted with a touch. That concludes our top 6 so far, with Peter Kauser, Miguel Trave and Titoan Kastrik looking to take one of those medal positions for themselves. Peter Kauser now getting his run underway. And he's bouncing across into gate 3, just about keeping in control of his boat there. The first split time of Jiri Priskovic is 23 seconds. I think Kauser's going to be a little bit behind that as he struggles to get into gate 7, excuse me. He's 1.25 behind Jiri Priskovic. Now, can he get in front of, his rival, Jiri Priskovic? They've shared the stage for a long time. I said yesterday, their rivalry is Ronaldo and Messi-esque. Which one is better? Who is your GOAT, Jiri Priskovic or Peter Kauser? That is the fight for the title right now, and Jiri Priskovic takes this one as Peter Kauser slips up on that gate 16. We've seen that a lot today. A slightly easier combination there, 15-16, something that in training people would collect every time, just proving extremely difficult in the race scenario as people are focusing on the bigger picture, on other moves, and forget about that little underrated gate, 15-16. And Peter Kauser now just collecting the last few moments of his run. So Jiri Priskovic has a medal. Only Miguel Trave and Titoan Kastrik can tell him that it won't be gold. Jabi Ferrazzi, I think, waiting nervously there. He's been in third position for a long time now. Can he hold on? Can he clinch that bronze away from Trave or Kastrik? It's going to be difficult. Two top athletes on the way. Miguel Trave, under 23 European champion in 2023 in Bratislava. He's a senior medalist in the kayak event, multiple senior finalist. He won the Junior Worlds in kayak and C1 before. Can he do it again? He won the Junior Europeans, in kayak and C1. He's no stranger to European success, that's for sure. Here he comes, Miguel Trave, the Spanish genius. Looking to work this course out. Lovely stuff through gate 5, 6, and 7. Trave looking technical here. Struggling to get onto that wave 9 and 10. Yuri Priskovic absolutely blew that move out the water, and Miguel Trave getting caught up. So I can expect Yuri Priskovic to have extended his lead by the time we see this next split. And he has comfortably extended that lead, but provisionally Trave is slotting into third place if he carries on like this, as he battle rudders around gate 17. Another one for the highlight reel. He's done it twice now. He leans back to try to get the bow up into 19, doesn't hold the inside pole as well as he would have liked, and he's dropped further on Yuri Priskovic now, provisionally into fourth place for Trave. It's him versus Jabi Ferrazzi for the bronze medal position, as Martin Strabotnik looks to be taking a medal away from these European Championships, because Miguel Trave will not compete with an 81.91. He will not compete with an 83.36 either. He slots into fourth place. And Yuri Priskovic has a gold or a silver medal. Martin Strabotnik has silver or bronze. Jabi Ferrazzi has bronze or nothing. It's all down to Titouan Kastrik. What will he take? It's Titouan's time. It's Titouan's race. He's looking for redemption. If you remember back to the Olympic Games, he made a big mistake in the middle section on the same wave that our stop across 18 to 19 is set on. He has the same move to deal with today. He has a chance for direct redemption. He's competing against the greatest of all time, Yuri Priskovic. This is a fight for the ages between the young man and the experienced head. The experienced head with his time already on the board. It beats Titouan Kastrik's semi-final performance, but Titouan Kastrik didn't sprint to the finish line. They are very evenly matched. The crowd is behind him, and away he goes on this battle. You can sit back and enjoy one of the best performers in the world right now, looking to win the European Championships on what is now his home course. A tidy top section from Kastrik, but Yuri Priskovic has the advantage as it stands. Kastrik not as fast into gate 9 and 10 as Yuri Priskovic was. He has time to make up. Yuri Priskovic is ahead of him right now. Kastrik is losing the battle. He needs to step up. Priskovic with a comfortable lead on Titouan now. Titouan needs to step it up. He's coming into this crunch move that he made the mistake on at the Olympic Games. Will he show it up? Will he make up for the mistake? He does. He flies into gate 19. Unbelievable move. He's making time up on Priskovic now. 1.62 seconds. It's too much. It's too much. Yuri Priskovic is holding on for gold medal right now. Titouan Kastrik looks like he might have to settle for second place again. Will he win? Yuri Priskovic or Titouan Kastrik? It's Yuri Priskovic who is going to become the European champion. Kastrik disappointed there. He knows he can win this race. He knows what he's capable of. He wins the silver medal and he is disappointed again. That's the high standards that Titouan Kastrik holds for himself. He looks disappointed, achieving what many could only dream of. But Yuri Priskovic takes what I think might be his 5th European Championship title incredible. Yuri Priskovic, so dominant on this scene, so dominant at this level in these championships. And Titoanka Streak, unfortunately, once again, in Vaires-sur-Marne, takes second place, not first like he would have liked. And there's a beautiful redemption story for Martin Srabotnik, someone who struggled to put any full runs together recently. He struggled to get on the senior team. He struggled to re-kick his career into action, and he wins a bronze medal here in Vaires-sur-Marne at the European Championships, a massive milestone in his career. Xabi Ferrazzi, the young Italian, losing out on a medal due to that 2-second time penalty picked up on gate 22. Our Olympic bronze medalist Palo Echan is not putting in the run he would have liked, with a big paddle back mistake. Peter Kauser not content with his run, one of the goats down the bottom of the board, but let's enjoy that run from Yuri Priskovic. Yuri Priskovic, Titoanka Streak, and Martin Srabotnik, Europodium at the European Championships 2025.
Okay. Congratulations, Jiří. Another European champion title for you, 7th in your career. How do you do it?
Well, I guess I am just a little lucky at the Europeans always, but this one is special because it's my first ever medal in France. I've never had any type of medal from the junior races through 23s and even on the ranking races. So this means really a lot, and I'm super happy I can be here and yeah, enjoying this moment.
With so many top athletes making big mistakes, how difficult is today's course?
Well, it is difficult, and also we know that there is plenty of time to be made, and of course in the finals we all want to risk it and do our best, so we try to go as tight line as possible, and yeah, I think there are the mistakes, like not every run goes as planned, and yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.